Happy New Year, everybody, especially Trinity, since you didn't join us last night. We're going to welcome you into a new year. I know everybody was asking for you. Um, Everybody missed you, sis. Everybody missed you. Uh, as you guys know by the title of my video today, we are going to listen to a speech from AOC and Mondani. And you guys are not going to be happy, but we have to listen to it because I am sure they're going to make some promises. And of course, we're going to go ahead and listen to them. As painful as it is, we need to listen to what they have to say. With that being said, welcome. Welcome, Trinity. Welcome, Burning. My man in the house. Robert, welcome. Haley, welcome again. Wedo. Let's see what Wedo starts talking about. I'm trying to cross the border and I get notifications. Immigration's gonna get my Wedo ass like Dennis. Hey man, none of that gay stuff over here, bro. You gotta keep it clean, bro. Gotta keep it clean. Cool Cat Rene, how are you, my friend? Always good to see you. Brian, welcome. Seems like my most important people are here. I don't see Rush Babe. Maybe she's busy. We'll see. We'll see if she gets a notification. All right. Well, if you were not with me last night, you probably missed just a few calls. Just a few calls that we took. I lost my connection for some reason on my cell phone, on the iPhone, of course, and then I went live again on my Android. And needless to say, I think last night we were live 2 hours and some change on the first one, and then 2.5 hours on the next one. I allowed some people to call in. I actually got some good calls. Trinity, you will be very proud of us. Actually, people call in and they actually wanted to say what they wanted to say without insulting the host. There was one lady that went crazy for a little bit. There was one guy that tried to go crazy, but we got that under control. I will tell you. I'm going to start by telling you guys that I was watching, not for too long, but maybe like 10 minutes. I was watching a leftist YouTuber, kind of like the opposite of me. And, it's crazy. I found out that when I put my comments on there, because like he will say something and I put a comment on there, I'm trying to be nice, right? I'm trying to catch him a break because everybody that is, right wing or whatever, they're insulting him. They're calling him liar, just like you see in my chat here. A lot of people go with the same sentiment, and I think that it's important to acknowledge that he is just trying to obviously promote what he believes is right, and I find that he knows a lot about the things that we know, but he makes excuses to see it different. And I don't know if that's probably the way they see us. That's probably the way they look at us and be like, oh man, this guy, he's just making excuses for President Trump, etc. Let's see. She was the first one in here. She's at the top. Let's see. He was mentioning things about, he said that even under Biden's worst mental moment, he was still 1,000% smarter than President Donald Trump. And this is how I know that these guys are delusional. That's a big red flag. If you're telling me, if you're really telling me that you don't see a difference between President Trump and Joe Biden, you already lost me. And so I made a few more comments. He asked me a question. I answer it, but after like a minute or so, 2 minutes, I don't know how long the delay was, he started insulting me, saying that I'm a coward, and the people were writing on the chat that I'm scared, and I'm Googling Newsmax and and all these things. And I'm like, bro, I responded as soon as you asked me the question. That was like 2 minutes ago. And so I put my answer again, and then I put like 4 different answers behind this just so I can see my name coming up. And it just didn't come up. And so the guy started insulting me because he wasn't looking at my response. And I thought am I doing the same thing to the people that come into my live feed? And I honestly don't know. So I am going to try to be a little bit more patient if I can. It's very difficult because you're hosting, you have everything live, people ask you a question, you responded, and the whole delay sometimes can be a pain in the neck. Sometimes that delay is very minimum. I think it depends on the connection that you have or whatever it is. But the point is, I felt bad for the guy, and I understand. Like, I completely disagree with this guy, 100% on everything that he was saying. But at the same time, it's like, what can we do? We're not going to change his mind. He's not going to change my mind, And I try to be flexible with the way that I talk with people, but they get butthurt about us saying, "Oh, libtards and retards and all this other stuff." But the reason why I don't care is because the hypocrisy of that is what gets to me, you know. And if Democrats themselves don't see other Democrats using it, that's on them, you know. But we see them using it, right? So I believe, James, that what you're saying is quiet Peggy, not Piggy. CNN said Piggy, but yeah, who knows? Whether it's Peggy or Piggy, I think it still was deserving. A press reporter that is disrespecting our commander in chief, the president of the United States of America, I think deserves to be called out. And I don't care what you think about the freedom of the press, but when you talk to the president, you show some respect. And whether it's Barack, whether it's Joe, whether I don't care what president it is, if you're going to ask a question, you can always be very direct and stern, but show some respect. You know, they don't have to be in Air Force One with the president. He doesn't have to answer any questions at all when he should be either resting so that he doesn't fall asleep in the meetings next day, or so that he can be planning something for what he's doing. And I think sometimes people are just very, very ungrateful. They're just so demanding. And where was this hostility from the left when Joe Biden spent like 3.5 years of his presidency at the beach, or at the basement, or just resting, trying to get his afternoon nap, his morning nap, middle afternoon nap, late afternoon nap, early night nap? Nobody called him at 12. Nobody called him at 11. That's too late. Nap time is at 8 p.m. And come on. I've seen Nancy Pelosi. I've seen Chuck Schumer. I've seen all these people just beating the crap out of the digital pen and just using the man's mental decay, his mental disease, to use him as a puppet. I think so disrespectful. I don't care if he's a racist. I don't care if he's got a career of horrible, horrible person. What they did to him during the Biden administration, I think that was pretty bad. So we are going to watch the speech from AOC. I think Mondani is going to speak as well. I'm not sure. I haven't watched it. But I will go ahead and allow somebody to call in. Just one caller. Keep it to a minimum of 5 minutes. Because from what I experienced today on the leftist YouTuber channel, that long delay was causing a problem, because I was trying to be polite to him. I was trying to defend him. I didn't give him one cuss word. I didn't give him any bad names or anything. I was just being very supportive. But because my comments were not getting to him on time, he started calling me an asshole, and I mean, my wife was there, and I said, "Look, listen to this guy. Look what he's calling me." But he doesn't know that I already responded to him, so he's just being rude and start calling me names and liar and this and that, and just like, bro. All right. So with that being said, distractor in chief, Diego. Okay, I'm not gonna take your call. Let's see. Such a hypocrite, Dav Salt. Give me a call. Tell me why I'm a hypocrite. Tell me, I really want to know why you think I'm a hypocrite. Go ahead, 425-583-1155. One call, 425-583-1155. Let's see. Let me make sure that I directed it straight to him. There you go. Give me a call. Nobody else calls. Only that person. And let's talk about hypocrite. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I know the delay, right? The delay. It's the delay. Yep, I remember, Toe. I remember. Yes, this time I put the right number down. I've been corrected by Trinity so many times. I got the right number in there. Go ahead, Dav, or Dave, or however you want to call yourself. Miss Hummingbird's back. How are you? Ice, ice, baby. Come on, buddy. Come on. You can do it. If you want to block your number, just dial *67. *67. *67. There you go, boys. Well, actually, just Dave. Dave's not here, man. He's in there. He put that comment on, or he just put that comment and left. Coward! I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So he left. So who is the courageous one that wants to tell me their true feelings about me? Gulf of America. Yes. You're not, Dennis. He's a Democrat. That's all. Thanks, Travis. I appreciate that. Let's see. Edgar. Mega loves trans. Yeah, I guess. Rick says, I can listen to other opinions, but we are a cult. We can think independent, not try to cancel you because we have different opinions. I just want somebody that calls me a hypocrite to call in. I'm not gonna yell at you. I promise. My New Year's resolution is to give people a chance, and then when they push my nerves, then I can cuss them out. But I will try to be a little bit more patient, more respectful, just a little bit. So don't get carried away. All right, what's that? I think that Dave the man left already. Is that what I'm looking at? I'm going to go ahead and pin that message just to have proof. To have proof. Dave got scared, says the Burning 47. Let's see. Soy Void, I see your comments, so no. I don't know what you guys are looking at. Let's see. No, Dave's not here. Okay, so the Killer 5341 also confirms Dave is in my basement, says well. Oh, he's got him working overtime over there. Freshly, welcome, sir. Welcome. My biggest propaganda guy. That's the biggest propaganda. The Zinc Roofer doesn't like the fact that I'm a propaganda guy. He grabs the negative side of the propaganda name. Let's see. Founding fathers were patriots. Absolutely. I think if our founding fathers were the true patriots that we think they are or were, I think that they will take a look at the situation and say, okay, hey, guys, listen, we had millions of people invade us. Let's change the Constitution. Let's make one more amendment, because now that we know that millions of illegal immigrants will come into this country to abuse our wording that we put wrong in the Constitution, We should have been more clear. We thought people in the future would have common sense, but they will know the error of their ways, and they will amend the Constitution. Welcome, Jim. Welcome, welcome. All right. See, I'm gonna start calling you guys names because you got this is how you guys come out. When I call you guys name, that's how you come out. Let's see, surviving behind line. Okay, here we go. Wondering if a liberal have the courage to call and debate. Guys, don't be too scared. You don't really have to debate. Just call in. Tell me your opinion. Nothing to debate. Just tell me your opinion. Or tell me why you think I'm lying or why I'm a hypocrite. Whatever the statement you want to make. Or if you just want to ask me a question. I am limiting you to 5 minutes. If anybody wants to do it, I pinned that message, so you should know how to call me. Just add a *67 on there if you want to block your number. I really don't care about your numbers. I got like hundreds of numbers on here. I don't care. I don't know who you are. I'm not selling it to nobody. It doesn't mean anything to me. Okay? Just so you know. Manchina. There we go. Hey, Katsu, go ahead and give me a call. Phone number is over there, pinned. It's pinned on the chat. MAGA is trash. You know what is funny? He said I wouldn't give you the time. This guy. Oh, man. All right. What that means is that you don't have the balls to call, okay? Just say that. I'm pretty sure you just got a horrible accent. That's probably why you don't want to call. But that's all right. You know, I give people lots of chances to call in, and you know, maybe sometimes I'm a little bit tough on people because they're really sensitive and emotional, and they don't know how to keep their composure. But I think last night I gave plenty of time, a lot of time for people to call in and tell me their message or their opinion, ask questions. I'm tired. I'm telling you, I'm tired. I almost didn't even come live today, but I told Robert that I will come in live. And he's probably not even in here. I don't think I've seen Robert in here. Let's see. What else we got? We thank you all through American Patriots. We thank you for giving us the time and effort. We love you for supporting the Dennis Herrera Show, says the cool cat Renee. He's giving you the time by being in the chat. Yeah, he's already doing that. I know. Oh, there he is. Robert comes straight in saying Transtivia stench is starting to get too strong again. Hey, Tanya, how are you? No, I think Fresh came in last night. Didn't you come in last night, Fresh? Or was that just in the morning, in the daytime live? Most have the emotional maturity of a child. Yeah, I can tell. You know, one of the things that I was trying to comment on this leftist YouTuber, we have about the same amount of subscribers, so he must have been just starting at the time that I did. He has like 11 point something thousand subscribers. But, you know, I was trying to answer the question last night. You know, this black lady came in, and I was so confused with what she was saying because at first I thought she was against illegal immigration, and then I thought she was pro-illegal immigration, and then she said something about black people are angry, and I thought that she was acknowledging that she was a victim, and I got so confused with the way she was telling me things. I told her the history of the way that where I come from. I told her even a couple of funny stories. See, there you go. Fresh knows. That lady was brutal. 45 minutes. See, I'm not lying. And it's just like I'm trying to understand her, and she just won't shut up. She asked me a question, like she didn't like my answer, but I answered the question. She says, "Why do you support President Donald Trump?" I said, "Because I agree with everything he's doing." She said, "That's not what I'm asking." And I said, "What do you want?" And I wanted to ask her. I was like, "What do you think he's doing?" And anything that she says that he is doing, if it's true, I say, "Well, that's what I support." And so I said, "Okay, then you answer me something." And she says, I said, "Why don't you tell me why you voted for Democrats?" And she says, well, I voted, and she starts telling me all these things, for children's safety and all this other stuff. And I said, I'm sorry. I thought you said you voted for Democrats. And she's like, no, no, I know. I can hear the tone. I know what you're saying. I was like, no, I want to hear it. I want to know. Please tell me. Did you vote for Democrats? And she didn't want to tell me because she already knows the answer. I said, everything you just mentioned, Trump is doing. The Trump administration is doing. And I said, and I agree with it. It's that simple. And she didn't like that answer, And then she says, that's not an answer. She's like, tell me what things. And I said, okay, well, border security. And then she started just talking over me and over me. I said, okay, ma'am, we're done. Thank you for calling. And I think she put a couple more comments on the chat. But, yeah, what a call. What a call. It was crazy. I'm still tired. Sorry. I'm still tired. All right, so libtards don't want to call today. All right, I got it. Okay. All right, so before we get to the speech from AOC and Mondani, we're going to leave it for last. Let's go ahead and catch up on where we left off yesterday. I want to start by saying this. Guys, if you guys just came into my channel, Happy New Year to every single one of you in here. I don't care what side you lean to. Happy New Year. I wish and hope that all of you in here are Americans and that you stand for America first. Some people don't understand what America first means, but you can ask me the question and I'll give you the answer, or we can just agree to disagree. Okay? So, Craig says, you're not muted. Thank you. I know, I was so mad, the stupid phone. I don't know why it does that on the cell phone. And yes, sometimes I do mute my mic, so I'm glad it's not muted. All right, so we touched up on fraud. Huge fraud from Somalis in Minnesota, but people think it's just Minnesota. It's not just Minnesota. It is also Ohio. Oh, now you want to call? Oh, man. All right, but it's from Florida, so it might be somebody good. Let's take a look. Let's give him a chance. All right, Happy New Year. Thanks for calling. Who's calling?
Hey, it's Paul.
Paul, what's happening, baby?
How you doing, business?
Doing good, man. What you got? What comment or question?
Actually, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you just do this as a side thing, or are you doing it full time?
I'm doing it full time. The reason for that, it's a good question. So I had a job that, I mean, they'll take me back. It's I know the owners and they didn't want me to leave, but the reason why I did is because I was not able to get. I struggle with rest as it is, like sleeping, and I was doing it, and every day it's like I'm listening to the news, just in my ear, right? I'm working, but I'm listening to the news, and I was like, oh man, I got this great story right now, and I just can't, share it because I'm at work, and I get this little anxiety thing. When you want something done and you can't do it, it sucks. You feel helpless, and so I was okay, I guess, forcing myself with it, but it was becoming harder and harder for me to know that, in the mornings, when I'm watching my news, when I'm gathering articles and listening to different, news outlets and people and international news, etc. It's a lot of time consuming, which is fine because I can work and just listen, the whole time. But it really got to me when my supervisor started getting on my nerves. Because I have all this information with me, all day at work. Like, I don't blame him, but at the same time, he was a little bit of, he's a Democrat. Okay, let's just say that, and he does not like anything that I have to say about anything in politics, when it's taxes, when it's Trump, when it's foreign affairs. If I start sharing things like that with my coworkers, he will just jump in and make a big deal, try to fight, and it's like, try to get me fired like so many times, and they wouldn't fire me because they, the owners, they like the way I work, and we have a good relationship. I'm not saying that I was, special, that I couldn't be touched, but it just started eating me inside. And I said, babe, I told my wife, I said, babe, what do you think if I do this? If I do this just full time, and let's see how it goes. I mean, I took a big ass pay cut. That's for sure. 100%. I took a big pay cut,
that's a
bro.
big gamble.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
huge. It's huge. And so now I'm at the point to where I said, okay, well, it seems like I get the most interactions, I guess, in the afternoon. After I'm done working. But then just think about this: I go and finish my 8 to 10 hour shifts, and then I come in here, and believe it or not, whether you have a physical or a mental work, it's draining, brother. And and so the lack of sleep with that is just like, okay, what do I need to do? Do I go to work here? So I talk with my wife. The wife says, no, just put your 2 weeks. Go do what you want to do. And she says, and I got your back. And I wouldn't have done it if she wouldn't have said that, because I am the man of the house. And I just thought, I'll be a little bit more fresh, even though I'm still having the sleep problem. But I feel like I've been able to give a lot. Right now I'm probably a little bit less than half of the money that I was making before, if I'm honest. Okay, I shouldn't disclose anything financially to anybody, but I'm always honest, and it's hard for me to just keep things a secret sometimes, unless it really needs to be a secret. So that's a good question, man. And whether this pays off or not is irrelevant right now. The only reason why I don't go back to my morning shift right now is because I am going to put my name on the ballot. We're going to run for governor this. We're going to register to be running for governor this year for 2028. I believe is when the election is going to be. So until do that, if I can find out, if this is going to work or not, then I'll just go back to work full time and still do this in the afternoon and the evenings. But yeah, I'm going to give it another 6 months, 7 months, and we'll see where we go from there. But if we get to run,
You're gonna go straight for a governor run?
yeah, we're going to run for office. And if it doesn't happen, then we'll think what we're going to do from there. But we're definitely going to give it a run.
Well, that's
Yeah.
impressive to have the courage to make big moves like that.
And I'm in Washington State. This is mostly a Democrat state. So yeah, I'm crazy is what I am. Huh? Washington State.
What state are you in? Oh, Washington. Okay.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun.
So
Go ahead.
I guess politic questions. Oh, I'm sorry. We're over 5 minutes. Is that okay?
It's okay. Go ahead. That was me.
So what did you think about the first couple vetoes of Trump's first of this term?
This whole year, 25.
Well, yeah. I mean, he just had his first couple vetoes for this term.
Yeah. I haven't heard about the vetoes yet. I haven't heard about the vetoes.
One was I'm not super familiar with the second one because it's related to like Native Americans' rights for a tribe in Florida. But
I see.
the first one was for it was a unanimous vote, and it was bipartisan unanimous vote for a clean water legislation in Colorado, and it was put forward by Lauren Boebert, and he vetoed it. And I wasn't sure. I don't know. It just kind of seemed like a very benign bill that would have been a shoo-in, but he decided to veto it. Do you think that had anything to do with him being upset with Lauren Boebert?
I mean, I don't know what. I haven't looked into what that entitles. But all I can tell you is that we voted for Trump. This is just me. I voted for Trump, as they say, for better or for worse. I won 4 full years of our win using our democracy that everybody fights so much about on the left. I want us to have our 4 years, and then they can go ahead and talk all the crap they want about me and everybody else. But as a governor, that's also the same thing that you do. If you have a team, that supposedly has the same agenda as you, and then the other team also votes who doesn't like you, who votes with that team that's supposed to have your back, you do have the right, the power to veto. And it goes back to the floor, and they can send it back again, and he can veto it again if he wants to. So I trust his decisions. I hope that some of these are not just because, oh, you know what, you did me wrong, I'm going to do you wrong. Sometimes that can be the case. But I feel like everybody, if everybody's a Republican, I feel that everybody has the obligation to back him up 100% on everything. Let me tell you why I tell you that way. And I use sports, okay, as in a big example. We have a head coach, we have an assistant coach, just kind of the president, the vice president. Just look at it at that. And then, you have other coaches, especially when your team is big. You have other coaches that help the kickers, the punters and defensive linemen, etc. And the thing is, the coach is the one that makes all the decisions. Everybody else, we listen and we do what he says. And if we win, hey, coach, good job. If we lose, coach, what the hell happened? But we take it as a team. We win together, we lose together. So whatever is happening in the executive branch, I trust that they're going to do the best that they're going to do for us. I don't agree with us, people who have no experience on how things work, to get upset about every little thing that they do incorrectly or something that we don't disagree. Sometimes we got to go with, hey, this is who we voted for, and you gotta accept it, trust it, and hope that everything it works out well. But at the point that we are right now, you know how people have said, oh my God, if I was to vote, between Biden and Trump, I'll vote for the least worst. Like that's not how you make a vote. You make a vote to say, okay, it's not that President Trump is number one villain and Biden is number two villain. You don't vote that way. Okay, what are the policies? Okay, well, border security, deport illegal immigrants. Okay, secure agreements and deals throughout the world with other supreme leaders, right? And when I say supreme leaders, I'm talking about developed countries that are prosperous, that have a lot of money. They like to be politically correct and get offended with this whole supreme word, but the word stands. And so Biden wasn't doing that, with the thing that lost me with Biden, besides his horrible career as a politician, was that one interview when he said that he was going to get somebody, if they didn't get somebody fired, that he was going to stop, the help to Ukraine. And then he bragged about it, and he said, well, why don't you know it, SOB, he got fired. And it's like, come on, the vice president is not supposed to be doing that. He's shady. Look at the campaign. The guy didn't campaign. Somehow he won drastically. I don't buy it. We've seen things of like truckloads of ballots that were disposed of. We now have proof from 315,000 votes in Georgia that the papers were not signed, signatures were not verified, which makes the votes invalid. And supposedly they were actually for Trump and all this other stuff. Some of the reasons why. But I think that everything that we voted for, he's been doing. And I feel like every promise he's made, he's kept, except Russia and Ukraine. Yes, I know. But he's not going to be able to. No, nobody is going to be able to give you everything, because sometimes it depends on somebody else. If it's up to Trump, okay, boom, first day is done. But Putin, he's playing. He's playing. He's playing with fire, because if I was me, bro, I would have started World War III already. Trump is a little bit more patient than I am, but that's just where I'm at with that. If he vetoes something, hey, I trust that he's doing the right thing.
Well,
what do you think about the veto?
I don't know. I kind of think that, just kind of looking at Trump's past, he's been a very retaliatory person. He has kind of been a revenge-seeking kind of person, and I definitely wouldn't put it past him to just. And I'm not saying like he looked at the bill and like saw what it was worth or anything. If he were to do that,
Yeah.
I think that if he were to veto it out of like, like on a revenge aspect,
Yeah.
probably didn't look at it. He's probably just pissed at her and then did.
And probably.
I do have another question for you.
Yeah, I will say
Well,
this. I will just add this to that. I think that what I would do, since I haven't looked at it, right? But if you have looked at it and you know what this video is about, I don't know what it is. I don't even know what the document is, but the water or whatever. Look into it and see what he said before he vetoed it. Before this was about this person. How did he feel about that? Did he talk about this before? Is it contradicting something that he said about it? And if he's been with it, right? If he's been with this bill and he's like, okay, let's pass this, and all of a sudden it's like, oh hell no, I hate that, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and veto it because I don't like it. I will have to look into it. So I would just suggest if you can do it, since you have been looking into it. I don't care about the vetoes. I just expect results on the other side, but it's a genuine concern. I think it's okay. Just like I think it's okay for him to weaponize the government to go after every single person that lied about him, everybody that tried to defame him from Congress. All this Russia collusion, I didn't see no arrest, so I'm a little pissed off about that. Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, AOC, all these people getting away with criminal activities. Letitia James, well, she's going to go back to court anyway. But, you have all these people that are not like clean cut people. And they went hardcore on him for the first 4 years that all of us got sick on hearing of this. Impeach. I mean, the guy was not even in office, 12 minutes. 12 minutes into him winning, and they were already talking about impeachment. Only because he won, and that pisses me off. I can't stand that. I just felt that it was so unjust.
Yeah, just the blind.
Yeah, if they would have been like, okay, let's see what he does, right? Like, let's say, for example, right now, if they didn't say nothing, if they didn't say anything, I'm sorry, if they didn't say anything at all about him this year, right? It's first year he's in office, and then all of a sudden he messed up. Oh, hell no, we can't take this guy. We got to impeach him. Okay, I'm with you. But he hadn't even been in office, man, and he was being blamed for everything. Remember when I know this is an old story already, but remember about the eggs, right? Think about that. The guy hadn't even been in office for like 2 days, and they were blaming him, not asking. They were blaming him that egg prices were crazy. And he's like, what? What are you talking about, eggs? What's going on with eggs, right? You hear the stories, right? And people on the left, they hate it because he keeps repeating it. Why? Because they keep lying about it. And I'm just like, I'm trying to see it both ways, guys. I know you think that I'm just like, right leaning. It's not. It's just maybe I am a right wing. It's just everything they do with lines.
Can I say something about the eggs?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think a huge portion of people that were ragging on the whole egg price thing were kind of ragging on the boisterous campaign that he had leading up to his election, where, he's quoted on camera saying like, oh, I'm going to end the war between Russia and Ukraine on day one. We're going to turn around the economy on day one. He had a lot of very boisterous promises.
Yeah.
Definitely, he didn't meet. I mean, he definitely overshot himself on the campaign.
Yeah.
I know. It's you're campaigning. It's politics, but like, maybe be a little bit more realistic with it. It ain't happening on day one.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think he exaggerates a little bit too much sometimes. But, somebody was very animate that exaggerating means lying. Yeah, I guess you can see it that way. But, I take that with a grain of salt. I don't think the way people deliver news is accurate. Like, especially when we're talking about like right now, which is something that I'm going to actually address right now for the topic of today, is the fraud by Somalis, right? This is not just Somalis. There's American white people in there as well, but Somalis are the guinea pigs that they're using as little tools to do this. That the numbers they fluctuate so much. So we got to take all the information with a grain of salt. Information
Absolutely.
information about illegal immigrants. We knew that there was over 10 million illegals in the country, and then we said that it was about 11 million more that came through the open border season. And then, Elon Musk throws something out there that it was closer to 50 million people. I'm sticking to the 21. I'm sticking to the 21, but the fact that they say that now we have 400 million inhabitants in the country when it was 340 something million, I tend to believe that a little bit, but at the same time, who knows? I will show some videos and some clips. It's going to be a little bit of a long live, I guess, because of the speech that I'm going to play from AOC. I'm going to torture myself to listen to it. But
can I have just time to do two more things?
Leave me one question.
I just want to make a statement to the chat.
Yeah.
And one more question for you.
Go for it.
Okay. Statement to the chat. The President of the United States does not have two levers on the desk in the Oval Office that they can just crank up and down.
Yep.
One says price of gas and one says economy. Doesn't work like that. And there's a thing called OPEC. Look it up. Look at how gas prices are regulated.
Uh-huh.
And two, my question is, how do you feel about the majority of the executive movement from Trump being through executive orders instead of legislation? Because when it goes through executive order, it's instantly able to be reversed by the next president.
Yep.
Rather than overturned through legislation process.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Barack Obama and President Trump both tried to do immigration reform, and they were both rejected by legislation. So I think that there has been the reason why you have Trump 2.0 today is because of all the BS that they gave him on the first term. Not only did they give him all this hard time on the first term, obviously he didn't know how much power he actually had as the executive branch. But I think he's fed up with it. He's like, I'm not coming here second term to BS. They're not going to like me. 100% they're not going to like me. And there's a reason why I tell you that, because that's exactly how I feel about running for governor in Washington. They're going to hate me. They are not going to like me. I am going to go against everything that they stand for, everything, because they have been destroying Washington State. And President Donald Trump knows that these idiots in legislation and the corrupted judicial system, they are destroying this country. And he has to use his executive power to be able to get things done. Otherwise, we never get anything done. So the answer to your question is I'm okay with everything he has to do, executive order. I'm glad he can do it, because we as citizens, we cannot do that. So somebody has to fight the idiots in Congress and in the Senate. I really hate that politicians play with our lives. They really do. The whole government shutdown BS. You're talking about fear of destroying democracy, and yet you don't agree. You don't accept the terms of democracy. We use democracy. We won. Shut up about it. Stop talking about impeachment. Stop talking about blocking. You just make yourselves look, not you. You just make yourselves look bad by trying to block Doge. Why? Why are you trying to block an audit? Because you're dirty. And they found out anyways. USAID, we know it was the economy of Somaliland, Somalia. It's crazy. People still deny that. But, there's an article from them saying that thanks to USAID shutting down, their economy now is in shackles again, And it's just like, okay, so we know that there's fraud going on in Somalia, in Minneapolis. It's Somalia, bro. In Minneapolis, has been going for over a decade, and Tim Walz knows. Tampa Tim knows about all this stuff, and he's just been sweeping it under the rug. As a matter of fact, instead of actually investigating and looking into it, he gave them a raise. Or at least he was thinking about giving them a raise, I think. I'm not sure if that part was actually completed. But the guy is lunatic. He changed the Minnesota flag. Did you know that? He changed the Minnesota flag to resemble more the Somali flag. That is ridiculous, brother. We have the United States of America, and we expect every single foreigner to come into this country and assimilate to America, not transform our country into the third world country. That's not what we want. So every executive order that President Trump has in office, let him do it. Let him take care of it, brother. I don't want to stand in his way. I want to see what happens. And you know what? I give him my full trust. This is why I voted for him. A lot of people that vote with emotions, I call them flakes, because they were like, oh my God, I wish I didn't vote for them. No, it's just like you got married and all of a sudden you get into a fight with your wife and you're like, oh my God, I wish I was single. I wish I would have never married you. No, man, you got to push through that. How do you fix it? It's a relationship. It's a commitment. It's a real serious thing. And flakes don't have that commitment. The flakes don't have that fight. You know, President Trump is not going to be perfect. But I will tell you the one thing that I see the most in my chat, it's people that tell me I'm a liar, I'm a hypocrite. Okay, show me. They say, what has Trump done? When they ask me that question right there, they lost me. I'm no longer interested. The fact that you can tell me that Trump hasn't done anything, they already lost me. I don't need to hear anymore. You know what I'm saying?
He's done a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but they can't even mention one thing, and they say that everything he says that he's done is a lie. And dude, me and my subscribers here, since we've been on this channel, bro, we watch every single live. We watch the updates. We watch the news. Like, I go through so many videos in here, and you know what they call me? Grifter. You know, they try to insult me and just throw insults, and they think that that's how they're going to stop us. That's not how you make us.
Well,
that's not how we work together.
Right.
Yeah, it's about working together. That's all I want.
That's not how you figure out each other's minds and
Right.
understand each other.
Well, I think and I'm a realist. I'm a little bit of an optimist and a realist. And the only solution that I can tell you, or the only thing that I think makes sense to me is we just have different values. Like, for example, I don't know where you stand or anybody else in here, but my values is my faith, God first, family, country, right? And then maybe party. I don't have a party per se, but those are my values. I believe that a man and a wife.
Trying to have a party, but
Yeah, but it's not. To me, it's you know, it's whatever. It's if it's there, it's there. If it's not, it doesn't matter. I still got my country, my faith, and my family. But then I believe that there's only two genders. I believe that men cannot be a woman cannot be a man. I believe that we should have no abortions. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have these values. Sorry, I'm getting a little sick. I have these values that other people that don't align to those values right there, we're just never going to see eye to eye, it seems like. And, you know, that's the biggest fight. You know, let's say me and
But
you.
do you feel like you couldn't live amongst people that don't share the same values?
As long as they can live with me. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so for example, right, you and me and let's say 100 people, we go protest, right? We go protest. We are pro-ICE, for example. And we stand on the sidewalk, not on the street, and we stand with our signs and, you know, we're protesting. And then you see Antifa. And the left doesn't denounce Antifa. The left loves Antifa because they create riots. They create problems, and then they get videos that they can make ICE agents look bad. And let's be honest, they're not robots. They are humans. They will break at some point. As I said before to somebody, I said, they keep telling me that they ask me if I serve, as if they're trying to shame me for not serving this country, military-wise. And I tell people, not everybody is meant to be a soldier. We need teachers that actually stay in school and teach. If they can go and serve, hey, by all means. This is why we love them. This is why we honor them. This is why we respect them, because we know not everybody can. It's a great honor, but you know, you do.
World War II expanded the entire female workforce because all the men were overseas fighting, and they needed to fill jobs that
Yeah,
still needed
yeah.
to be done.
And what do women want now? They want to go to war and leave the men at home. And they want to flip. I don't know, man. But anyway, that's how I feel about executive orders. You know, I tell you all these things because in my brain, the reason why I talk the way I talk is because I have 100 thoughts going through my head all the time. And that's just how I reason, you know. It doesn't mean that I'm right. It doesn't mean that everything I tell you is 100% accurate. No, that's just the way I process information, you know, when I talk to
Hey,
people.
you're a man with opinions and values.
That's it. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to pick your brain. That's why I called.
Yes, sir. That's why I want the lines open. I want people to do that. But you know, sometimes they come in and just start insulting. Oh, you're a dumbass and you're an asshole and blah blah blah. And it's like you're a traitor to your people and a sellout. It's like, I'm sorry. Hi, how are you? Uh, like what? Do you have a question or a comment? Some people are like that, bro. They're pretty rough. They don't have respect like you have shown me right now. Very rare people really want to just ask a question, give me their opinion, and take my opinion. It's not about you correcting me or me correcting you. It's about knowing where we stand. And it's like, hey, if you like it, stay. If you don't like it, well, then you know that you found out who I am and you don't like it, and then you'll find somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
No,
Yeah.
I've been listening to you, man. I do disagree with you on immigration 100%. Like I think you're a little not. I think you're
Too rough?
You're way too hard on immigration.
I'm too hard.
Yeah, I think you need a new
Yeah.
perspective because but that's just difference of opinions. I think that we need like a true solution. You can't just like building a wall is.
It's helped so far, though. It's helped so far.
Has it?
I don't think. Well,
Literally seemed like a mayor of a border Mexican state scale the wall on video just to mock some of the walls being built.
Yeah, but there you have it. They got them on video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. It just delays them a little bit so they can get caught.
I mean, sure, but yeah, that's a lot. That's thousands of miles.
Yeah, I know, man. Well, would you like it to have electricity? Would you like us to have gun towers?
What I would truly want is someone to address the issue that you have illegal immigrants coming and trying to get into America, and they're all coming through Mexico.
Yeah. Well, Chinese, dude, a lot of Chinese came through Mexico.
From the southern border of Mexico, they're all coming in through Mexico.
Yeah.
So there needs to be the President of the United States working with the President of Mexico to figure out how to stop the immigrants getting into Mexico in the first place, and then you create an entire logistic setup that is a buffer.
Yeah, but I have a
not let people trotting through Mexico.
Yeah.
To get to the southern Mexico-American border.
Yeah.
And then you ease yourself of randos just coming to the Mexican border.
Yeah.
So you work with Mexico, and then you work your way farther south. And then what is it? What's the major border on Mexico and Central America?
Which one? The Chiapas? The southern border? Yeah, it's just the southern border of Mexico. I think it's Chiapas is the last state of Mexico or city. I don't know.
No. The next country south.
Belize?
Running in.
There's Belize and Guatemala border Mexico.
Guatemala. Yeah.
Okay.
So then after you start working with the Mexican government. You
Yeah.
start working with the Guatemalan government
Yeah.
and working with them on people.
Well, I got a whole story on it, brother, but I can't share. Maybe I'll share it tonight. I have a whole story on that, but it's not because they have tried. It's
It's
the
not for
opposite.
lack of trying, you
It
mean?
no, it's not for lack of, no, it's not that. Trust me. Let's just say money. All right, but that's all the time you got. I think somebody's been trying to call and I've
All
been
right,
ignoring
I'm
them.
sorry I took up too much
No
of your
problem,
time.
man. Hey, thanks for listening and
Thank
thanks
you.
for your opinion.
It was great talking to you.
Yes, sir. You take care.
You too.
Right. All right, if you were trying to call, go ahead and call in. I'll take another call, I guess, before we move on to the next step. And as I wait for the call, I'll see if I can get this little quick story out. One of the reasons why the Mexican border on the southern border, never mind. We'll talk about that another time, I guess. All right, thanks for calling back. Who am I talking to?
Louis,
Hey, Lois. Do you have a question or a comment?
a question.
Go ahead.
Actually, a few questions. I just want your audience to think on this.
Okay.
2020, I was still falling for that whole left versus right, and I was really hardcore into the Republican Party. It was like Trump all the way.
Yeah.
But then we saw I'll get to the question right now. Then I saw the whole open borders, et cetera, et cetera. And I kept questioning COVID-19. I was like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
Anyway, so Trump got elected again, and I was like, okay, let's see if this is real. My question is, what happened to arresting Hillary Clinton? What happened to arresting Fauci?
Yeah.
What happened to arresting Soros? I'm not taking shots at just the right. I'm just across the board because this is what they want: division, left versus right. Here, let me do you a better one. Who's the? I think it's Scott Bessent. He's the Secretary of Treasury, right? I believe,
Correct.
or U.S. Treasury.
Yeah.
That's George Soros' manager. Here, let me do you another one better. The guy that just got elected in New York right now and was at the White House with Trump.
Mondani.
Who do you think funded all his campaigns? George Soros.
George Soros, yeah.
And so all these guys are all in it together. Everybody's in it together. It's just they try to hide it. And here's another one. This is not regarding that question, but this is kind of because I'm seeing the Israel flag and the American flag. So this is my question to those people. People, like, let's just think about this. And Immortal Technique says this a lot. How many military bases does Israel has in the U.S.? Zero, right?
No. Yeah, I haven't looked at that. That's a good question.
How many military bases? It's not even military bases. We have the main weapons in Israel. We have about 17. 17. So you tell me who controls who?
Nuclear weapons, you mean?
Mm-hmm. So who controls who?
Mm-hmm.
Does Israel control the U.S. or the U.S.? I think what has happened is that a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon of like saying, "Oh, hate the Jews, hate the Jews." No, It's the Zionists. So right now, the new movement, the new trend, you're gonna see a lot, and I could see it. And then we'll touch a little bit regarding ICE, what they're doing, because that's about to backfire in the next administration. They always do that, the same way they did it with BLM, with everybody. It's always a new one. So going back to my main point, the new trend is gonna be Christians. They're gonna use religion to divide everybody. You just gotta be careful. And the true Christian's gonna know that the Zionists, the ones that are in control of the Zionists, I'll do you that better, because the Jews have been used as a shield. And right now they're gonna do that. They're gonna do that same thing they've done in Israel to the people here in the U.S., to the Christians, and people are gonna fall for it. So you have Candace Owens, you have
well, she flipped already.
that are fighting versus all these YouTubers. They're contractors. They're CIA contractors. That's it. There's no. You have Nick Fuentes that's rising up right now. He's creating a big trend. Trump is gonna be gone. When he's done, guess what they're gonna do? All those ICE agents. Why do you think they cover their faces? Because they know. My cousin works for. She's an attorney in immigration. the next administration that comes in after Trump is gone, all those agents, why you think they cover their faces? Because people are going to be able to file lawsuits against the government. And just if, I don't know if you know this, for every illegal immigrant that gets deported back to their country, illegal person, if they go through the prison, the whole system, our tax dollars, we pay about $150,000 for every one person. And that big, beautiful bill that Trump passed, that he was saying, make America, that we're rebuilding, the economy is great. No. They're playing everybody. They're playing left, right. I mean, all these programs they're cutting, but you just printed $5 trillion, and then you're cutting all this aid and all this help. So, and then Elon Musk is talking about, oh yeah, there's a lot of corruption. We're finding all this money, but you're not finding nobody that was doing it. Why aren't we putting no one behind bars? I'm just putting the thoughts out there. I'm not trying to like really, I don't want that creative division between people. I just want people to really think for themselves. Like they've been getting suckered, and staying with that topic, you have them finding all this money. No one's gone to prison, but they're cutting all this aid because they're saying, oh yeah, if it's a poor white woman or poor black woman or Hispanic that it's getting food stamps or whatever, or getting help or aid from the government, I'd rather damn U.S. taxpayers get the money than get sent to Argentina, to Ukraine, to Gaza, for the military-industrial complex. Because let's keep it real, the people that elected Trump was BlackRock. Everybody knows this. I mean, BlackRock. You have J.P. Morgan.
No, just ask one question because I have 3 days to talk about this. Yeah, just ask one question because I have covered all of this. I made many lives and I cover this all the time, but just ask me one question. You have theories, which I agree with some of them actually, but I don't like to mention my theories. I like to see what's happening in the moment.
Yeah, follow the money.
Yeah. I have my questions, but I'm waiting to see what happens this year.
Yeah, brother. That's all I can say. I don't care whether you're left or right. Sooner or later, it's taking everyone a little bit when they're not happy no more.
Yeah.
My question is this: how long are people gonna let the division go on? And always remember this. I don't know if it's a question or statement. When there's a trend on YouTube and there's on the left or right, always they've done this to us too many times, and this is what pisses me off.
Yeah, that's true.
What happened to arresting Hillary Clinton, George Soros, and you have Bill Gates sitting on the same table and Mark Zuckerberg? Are you kidding me, bro?
Yeah.
Like, we fell for it when COVID-19, the censoring shit, man. Go check out Simon Dixon. He does finance and politics. He talks a lot about Bitcoin. I'm not a Bitcoin person. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm in the stock market, but I follow the money. And this guy got me. He flipped my head around. Simon Dixon. Go check him out. Go see his videos. Guy's crazy.
If I play the stocks, I think I would, but I don't care about the stocks. Stocks is a fear mongering tool, either for good or bad. It's a gambling thing, bro. It's just gambling.
Yeah, no, it's a Ponzi scheme. I mean, the stock market, it's really a Ponzi scheme. We could go on deep with this, and that's why I say go check out Simon Dixon. And when you look at his videos and what he says, they're pretty long, but they're worth it. And what you just said right now, this whole system, it needs that. That's why
you ready for this?
Yeah.
I think you're wrong. The best person that I should go talk to is Nancy Pelosi, bro. She has a winning track. Hey, thanks for the consideration, brother. I respect that. All your theories, I played in my head too. Yeah. I give them a little benefit of doubt on some things because I have seen Soros in court. I have seen, the president administration taking him to court, and he's won. And I'm telling you, the Democrats have a lot of pull, man. That's what they call the deep state, and they have a lot of power, bro. We don't even know how deep that rabbit hole goes. I just pray and I just hope that all the truth comes out, and we really want to see people. This one of the things that we say here the most is accountability, and we want to see people in jail, the right people, not just people that they make up.
All all you could do, like what you're saying. I love what you're saying, and I think I could wrap it up and say goodbye. All we could do is whether your neighbor votes left or right, that should be second,
Yep.
and love them no matter, like, treat them no matter what, and take it easy on our people with this whole immigration, cause I'm from Honduras. Listen, I'm from
Oh,
Honduras.
somos
What I
catrachos.
saw Trump do, yeah, lo que miré que Trump hizo con Juan Orlando with pardons him, and then you're arresting people working at construction sites, at roofs, and you're pardoning this guy. Traffic
Oh,
violence,
I'm gonna have to talk with you about that another time.
Oh, I know
Yeah.
what he's giving up. Yeah,
Makes-
I know what he's the name Venezuela, and then he has the island out there that Peter Thiel. They promised Peter Thiel. They got mad because they're trying to sue Honduras for $11 billion. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna give it to them. Prospera. Look at Guaná.
Oh,
Guaná has been in the business for 40 years.
Yeah, I trust me. I followed the story for years in Honduras, brother. The next time we do another live, bring that up if you happen to catch me. Okay, bring that up and I will talk about it.
Brother, you got my number there, so if you feel like talking, I tell you.
All right.
Goes, like you said, it goes deep. All right, man. Have a good night, and everybody, good luck and much blessings. And please,
Hey, Happy
please
New Year.
Stop with the division, man.
Yeah,
All
bro.
right, man.
Okay, late.
All right, later, brother.
Yeah, we got another Honduras called in. I everything he says is right. Like, I mean, but they're theories, and I have a lot of theories myself, but I try to stick with, with what we have experienced and what we have seen. The whole thing, I will say, it's almost a 50-50 issue with Juan Orlando Hernandez from Honduras, the president that got pardoned. Just a quick version of it. It's President Juan Orlando was actually working with the Biden administration, and the opposition, the Communist Party that actually got in office this last term, the ones that just lost, they set him up, as the main drug lord, and they said all these things about him, and I'm like, well, that doesn't add up, because they have shut down planes full of cocaine that have come to Honduras from Venezuela, and he's the only guy that stood up to defend the general from the Air Forces that did that, and the party, the president at that time was Manuel Zelaya, is the only one that knew about those planes supposedly, and he fired that general. And it turns out that when Juan Orlando won the election again, they didn't know how to get him out of office. So they gave Salvador Narrala, which is a journalist in Honduras, some information of some movement of some things. And he went and spread all these things to the Honduran people, to the Hondurans in the United States. And he says, we got proof and we have numbers and we got this. And at the end of the day, they had nothing. No proof, nothing. The only people that they were able to get on their pockets was the President Xiomara and her husband Mel Zelaya, and then also the Biden administration, who was orchestrating this, which, by the way, they are responsible for the open border, and we know what happened with that. President Juan Orlando Hernandez, he was actually surprised because he has spoken with Joe Biden. He spoke with Joe Biden, and everything is fine, and they're working on something else in Honduras. And all of a sudden, I think, what's his name? Garland, I think is his name, comes out in public, in television and the news, and says Juan Orlando Hernandez is a drug lord and he is being this and that. And this is like, the president's like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Like, we have an agreement. There's an arrangement. What do you mean? Like, where did this come from? And so he didn't believe it. I don't believe it. I've been investigating these guys myself, and everything comes to him. When I went to Honduras and I interviewed a lot of Hondurans, a lot of people told me they love the president. They never seen anything illicit coming from him. And all of a sudden, there's all this overwhelming information against them. So we'll talk about it more another time. I know you guys have seen that before. Hey, Graham, I see you. Stop trying to sneak in there, man. Post this as a clip on your channel. People need to know. I'm not sure what are you clipping here. Let's see. I don't see any clips. We still need to collab, man. I haven't figured out how to use the Streamlabs for other. There is an option to have your camera in there, but I don't know how do you do the whole setup. That's why we're having collab, brother. Let's see what else we got in here. Wedo says I'm the gatekeeper. No, you are not the gatekeeper. Not the gatekeeper. All right, I'll take one more call and then we go ahead and get into our videos. All right, thanks for calling. Who am I speaking with?
Hello, it's your boy.
Which one?
I'm just your boy.
Your boy. Oh, all right, your boy. What do you got? Comment or question?
I just wanted to say that a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man.
But why you doing this?
This is my calling.
Your business?
This is my calling. I guess I guess
business.
it could be a business, and you make money with it.
Yeah. I figured.
Why you ask?
Say again?
Excuse me. I said, why you ask?
Genuine answer?
Yeah.
You don't have to do this, man. You don't have to do this.
I think I do. I don't like my country going to shit.
What do you think they're going to do to fix that then?
Did you hear what my values are?
I've heard you a bit. I think I have a pretty strong understanding of your values.
No, were you here?
You're MAGA. I do.
No. I just mentioned my values. Did you hear them or?
I don't think I caught it. I just
okay, so
I think I had it muted for a second.
Yeah. So my values is always I have my faith, family, country. Those are my values. And so when I think about values, to me, what's valuable?
And how does that translate?
It translates into it translates into the nuclear family, a husband and a wife that can make children. I believe in two genders.
Stemming from those beliefs, like what's like a policy that you agree with that is, I guess, pro MAGA?
There's only two genders. They should keep men out of women's sports.
What are you talking? Man, you got to stop going off. Like I'm asking you a simple question. Like what's a policy related to your values that you just listed that is something you believe in, like a policy, like something that they do?
I think keeping men out of women's sports is a policy.
That was crazy, man. You really getting in there. I mean, something that's actually beneficial to people.
That is beneficial.
On a really large scale, right? Like on a larger scale.
That is huge. that goes against.
I don't want to get into nitpicky. Oh, that boy got his nipples cut off or his nuts cut off. Like I don't care, dude.
Okay, but you asked me the question. That is my answer. That is my answer. If it's not the answer you're looking for, I'm sorry.
That's all you have to talk about all day. No wonder you're just like some fucking spokesperson for MAGA. You just like fucking rant about.
Who do you speak for?
On the internet.
Who do you speak for?
Myself.
So do I. So do I. So what do you say? You're gonna fix the country? So you're gonna fix the country? What are you gonna do to fix the country?
I think you're in the closet, man.
Go ahead, keep it in the closet. But what are you gonna do for the country?
Why are you in the closet, man?
All right, man. Thanks for calling. You're trolling, bro. You're trolling. You're cooked. Okay, don't troll. Don't troll. Okay, don't troll. I don't understand what's so difficult. See, to him, this whole transgender thing is no big deal. To me, it's huge. It's huge. Everything gets destroyed when you accept that because it's a spiritual battle. I gave him my values, and I get it. So the reason why I tell you that is because if you don't have the same values as I do, we cannot have a conversation. That's just the way it is. Now, we can talk about it if you're up to it, but they don't want to talk about it. See, he doesn't understand how big it is. To say that there's only two genders and that a man can never be a woman can never be a man, and keep men out of women's sports, he thinks that's nothing. But that is everything, isn't it? That is perversion. That is a mental problem. That is a disease that needs to be addressed. I don't understand. I don't understand. Send me your name, Catracho. Send me your name, Catracho, so I can save it. I don't appreciate that. Don't call me to disrespect me or to cuss me out. I think I've been very fair, right? It's the first day of the new year. I think I was very fair. I'm trying to listen a bit more, trying to get, to see what people really, really believe, what they're looking at. And like I said before to one of my callers tonight, it's if you don't believe what I believe, if you don't agree with what I say, you always have a choice. Go to a channel that has your beliefs, that has your values, that aligns with what you have. Because the thank you, Luis, because the point of having conversations is this. This is the reason why we have the Republicans and Democrats, independents. This is why we have different parties. And so the reason why I want to have people that are pro MAGA in my channel, that are supporting President Trump, because he supports my values. You see, whether you like it or not, it's irrelevant. Everything makes sense to me. The attack on Venezuela, it makes sense to me. The trash talking to Mexico, it makes sense to me. El Salvador, Honduras, there is so much history, so much relativity that it makes sense to me. Other people that don't pay attention, I'm not calling you stupid. I'll try not to call you a libtard or a retard, none of those names. But the ignorance is there, meaning that there is something that you're missing in that information. So I'm going to have a conversation with Luis, and who knows how long it's going to be. But he has a lot of theories, because those theories, they make sense. When you connect them, they make sense. But are they really factual theories? And there's a lot of other things, like Soros going to court and winning, and then going to court again and winning. Well, we know that the judicial system is compromised with activist judges. We know that the whole Congress on the left is corrupted. They were willing to put our people in harm's way. They were willing to sacrifice our citizens, our residents, and everybody else that depends on the government right now. We really don't, but you know what I'm saying? They didn't care that people were going to die. They didn't care that children was going to starve. They decided to shut down the government. Why? Because they want leverage. Why? Because they want to have those billions of dollars go to the people that they want. They want to give billions of dollars in benefits to illegal immigrants, which I don't believe in. I don't agree with it. And one of the things that we have said, and I have talked to a lot of people in Honduras, they tell me that those Hondurans that come into this country illegally bring shame to Honduras. And so I believe the same way as they do. And I believe that those who are real catrachos, that they never came here, that some of them don't even want to come here. They work hard. Is the traffic horrible? Sure. Is the poverty hitting? Yeah. But if you work hard, you don't never go hungry. And you get your own car. I'm going to tell you right now, if things were as bad as people say were in Honduras, there will be no traffic jams. And yet there is. And there will be no businesses. And this president, Juan Orlando Hernandez, that just got pardoned by President Trump, he allowed a lot of Hondurans to lift and create businesses. He lifted manufactories. We call them maquilas. They make the clothing. He did a lot of infrastructure, especially in the capital. Roads that we used to travel through that are main roads, and Cortez and Copan and San Pedro Sula and Lloro. He did a lot of infrastructure. It takes hundreds of millions of dollars to do that. And I heard I heard your caller. Move on to the next one, sir. Yeah, even Luis agrees with the last what the guy. I gave him a chance. But anyways, there is a lot of things, okay, that if you want to ask me a question, accept my answer. Don't ask me for a question and then just tell me that's not good enough. Because this whole two genders, keeping men out of women's sport, that is huge. It's big time. Because if you don't address that problem, it's just going to get worse. Okay? So that's as far as I'm going to go with it. All right, let me go ahead and save your number here, Luis, so I don't lose you, okay? Luis Catracho. That's how I'm going to put you. Luis Catracho. YouTube, so I know which one, because I know a lot of Luises, okay? All right, there we go. Okay. All right, that was the last call so that I can... Oh, Baba, thank you for the PayPal, brother. I appreciate you. I see it. I got the message. Man, that's a lot of support, man, and I appreciate you for that. Thank you so much. That's amazing. To be honest, I appreciate it. All right, so those who have PayPal, you can do the same. The PayPal is in my description if you want to support my channel. You guys do already know this is what I do for a living. This is how I make my money. It's a double blessing. I get to make some money, not a lot, but I get some money, and I get to be able to speak the truth as I interpret it. And the choice is always yours. Whether you agree with me, great, you're welcome. If you don't agree with me, great, you can go somewhere else. There's a lot of leftist YouTubers out there that believe President Biden is the smartest guy on earth, and he's 1,000% smarter than President Donald Trump. What else did I hear today? That he has a third grade level reading. He's not smart at all. He bankrupt casinos. He did this. He did. I know his life. I know the mistakes he's made. I know the mistakes I've made, and I know how I fixed them and how I changed them. But one thing that I learned while I was in church is that the devil always likes to bring the past so that he can break you down. People have done that throughout my life many, many, many times, and it's the same thing. Why? Because I'm an open book. I share everything in my life, most of everything, because I'm learning to keep some things to myself. But for the most part, you know everything about me. There's nothing I hide from anybody. And they use that. They use that against me. There was a guy that I had to block in here because every time that he will come in, he will start talking about how I paid this, and how I did that, and how I did this, and it's more not to you be used as constructive criticism. It was more to put me down and insult me. And as much as I take it, I am not here for people to insult me. Okay, I am here for people to ask me questions. I have people here to give me an opinion. You can correct me if you think I'm saying a lie. Tell me what lie. If you think I'm a hypocrite, tell me why am I a hypocrite? I want to know. I want to hear your side of the story, and then I will tell you, hey, listen, that sounds fair, but I disagree with that. Or, hey, that actually sounds pretty good. All right, I just lost my internet. Doggone it, babe. I just lost my internet. Oh man! All right. Hopefully it's not too bad because it came right back. It looks like. Let's see. Dennis, like you do to others. So 8 6 6 7 8 9. I think sometimes people misunderstand me. If I have an opinion, so this is my channel, right? I am the host in this channel, and I get to say whatever I want to say. But I will tell you this personally, and I think VL.C was also in the leftist YouTuber channel. And if it was him, because I think I saw him in there, if it was him, he can be witness of my comments. I was very respectful. I gave my opinion. I corrected the guy. Didn't call him a retard. Didn't insult him at all. That's his channel. As a matter of fact, I say, listen, I disagree with everything you say, but listen, this is what you do for a living. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, man. You keep doing what you believe that is right. And it's just like, even if I disagree with you 100%, this is your channel. Do what you got to do, man. And hopefully, maybe one day you'll either change your mind or, we get to prove you wrong, even though he cussed me out. But I think it's just because of the delay on the responses. He probably thought I was trolling him, but I wasn't. And so I saw that one guy that was in here earlier, VL.C, I think it was. Let me see if he's still on the chat here so that I can pull it up. I think it's this guy right here. I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's this guy. Let me see. It sounds like he is like he supports me. I don't know if this one that sounds the same. Maybe it's BLS, I think, or something like that. But anyways, I saw that guy in the chat, and he can look at my comments, and he knows that I was being respectful to the guy, even though he was cussing me out and, calling me an asshole and this and that. I noticed my comment didn't show up for a very, very long time. So he probably thought he said I was Googling Newsmax to answer the question. Okay. And, no, it wasn't. I answered right away. Trinity, if you're still in here, he was talking about, how Trump is, wasting all this money with Israel. And I say, well, hey, and talking about Ukraine. And I said, well, what happened to the, with Joe Biden giving free $190 billion to Ukraine? And he says, you're a moron. And I try to explain to him, but the message didn't get to him, I guess. But he said, you're an asshole and, you don't know anything. And starts, just cussing me out and tells me that's assets, that's weapons, and it's not cash, you idiot. And I'm like, I know that it doesn't need to be cash. $190 billion could be all missiles. But nonetheless, they cost $190 million. It doesn't mean it's cash, but if it was cash, so what if it be? We didn't get anything in return. And what I'm saying is, like, when Trump is doing this, now we're getting something back in return. You know what I mean? And that's where I was with it. All right, but we're just going to go ahead and jump into my actual live that I got in here for, and we are going to talk about the fraud in in Minnesota. Man, I'm sorry, Somalis, you guys messed this up. You guys created that fraud, but I'm going to tell you something. It's not just Somalis, okay? I think Somalis are just the tools that somebody else used. And I am inclined, now allegedly, I am inclined to say, of course, Ilhan Omar, okay, has been saying that white people are evil and that white people are trying to hurt Somalis. Why do I mention her? Because Somalis told Nick Shirley, the nicest guy, not intimidating. There's nothing intimidating about Nick Shirley. Hey, Nick Shirley, I love you, bro, but you're not intimidating at all. Happy New Year, Brenda. Happy New Year, Tanya. I don't think I said that to you either. Well, Happy New Year to everybody. And so he says, you're scared of me. She's like, yes, I'm scared because you're white. Okay, well, there you go. That's Ilhan Omar. Now, Ilhan Omar has also said, okay, that her loyalty belongs to the president of Somalia. Imagine that. A congresswoman that serves you, her loyalty belongs to the president of Somalia and, of course, the Somali people. She is not for America, so why would you defend her? Okay? So I mentioned this for a reason. She even bragged that the president of Somalia calls her his girl. Like my girl, not like a wife, that type of girl, but like, that's my girl. You know what I mean? Somebody you trust and believe in. And after saying all those things, now we find out that the fraud that they've been calling out for a very long time now, it's actually more factual than just hate. What the hell is the one for? I don't know what are you guys voting for here? Heath. He says, put a 1 in the chat for Walt's jail time. Heath, Happy New Year, brother. Stop trying to steal the show, man. This is the Dennis Herrera show, okay? Okay, so let's see. Joey says, stop lying, show us where and when she said that. Well, if you speak Somali, I would love for you to translate it so that you can prove me wrong, okay? Okay. Let's see. Let's see if we get something out of this. That's not the one. She had a speech in a campaign. Okay, this is Facebook. Let me click on this one and see what it is.
madaxweyne Hassan.
Now, the reason why I'm going to play the audio is just in case we have a Somali in here. Maybe Jay is hanging out and he can listen for himself, and then he can tell us if what I said is true or maybe I was misinformed. Okay? Okay. All right, here you go. What the hell happened to the sound?
Somalia. Waan fursad u helay madaxweynaha Soomaaliya madax
So she says, let me read this. I am very honored to have the chance. It's not going to be the sound. To have a chance that our president of Somalia, President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, let us give him a warm welcome, Minneapolis. The president and I have a special relationship. I call him uncle and he calls me his girl. Welcome to your home. Our home is your home. Welcome to Minneapolis. We are very happy that Hassan is our president. Should I read more? Who's her president? I never lie. I never lie.
Soomaaliya dadka meeshaan
Somalia's
wada
our
joogoo dhan waa gurigooda annaga ma
It is
dareensan
home to all of
nihin
our people. We do not
in
feel
ay
that
naga
it is
tahay
far
meel
from
naga
us.
fog Soomaaliya wadnaheenay ku nooshahay
Somalia is our heart.
qalbigeenay ku jirtaa
our
maalin
hearts.
kasta aan ka fikirnaa
We always think
Soomaaliya
about Somalia. There you go. Any other questions about where her loyalty lies? Look, her loyalty lies. I didn't make up the English word. You see what I'm talking about? So, besides that, thank you, Baba. Besides that, we have Tim Walls. Tampon Tim. Let's see. Omar is he used to be a Muslim, but he's not a Somali, right? Omar, you're not Somali, right, Omar? I forget what country you say you were from. I thought you were born here, to be honest, but I don't know. I apologize about that, brother. Okay, so we'll get rid of her. And I want to show something. Now, this is not the order that I was going to show it, but I want you to listen to this guy, okay? This is an Attorney General, Ellison, I believe is his name. And now I think he just became the mayor. Let's listen to what he says. I want you to pay attention to this, and I want you to give me your honest opinion.
Yes, it is.
So, can you tell us why the Somali communities are very important for the election?
Well, the Somali community is critical. In my own election, I wouldn't be in office without the help of the Somali community. Okay. Somali voters came out in very large numbers and were able to register people to vote. Very recently I think there was several thousand Somalis who were just naturalized as U.S. citizens. Yeah. Somalis can make a huge impact on this election. And I can tell you without a doubt, it's not just in Minnesota that Somalis make a big difference in the election. Also in Ohio, which is a battleground state. Somalis that are in Columbus, Ohio, and in Virginia, all have a role, an opportunity to play a very big role in this election. And so I think many of us are counting on the Somali community to get involved, stay involved, but not just vote, help others vote. On my campaign, we have tremendous leaders. For example, Hibu Isak, who is a great leader, very articulate, very smart young lady, who is out gathering in Somali voters and other voters to get them to the polls. Also, we have Miriam, who's on our campaign, and others as well. So we believe that the Somali community plays a critical role, not just in Minnesota, but in Ohio and in Virginia.
Oh, did he say Ohio? Uh-huh.
So call your relatives out there so we can get them to the polls. Thousands Somalis who were just naturalized as U.S. citizens. Thousands Somalis who were just naturalized as U.S. citizens. Somalis who were just naturalized as U.S. citizens. I think there was several thousand Somalis who were just naturalized as U.S. citizens. I think there was several thousand Somalis who were just naturalized as U.S. citizens. Yeah.
Very interesting. And if those Somalis were not made citizens, he would have lost. What a coincidence. How are Somalis being governors, mayors, senators, Congress, etc., etc. How are they able to infiltrate into our government? Say it again.
Very recently there, I think there was several thousand Somalis who were just naturalized as U.S. citizens. Very recently there, I think there was several thousand Somalis who were just naturalized as U.S. citizens. Yeah.
How do you think they got into power? It's not fake propaganda, my friend. That's him right there. That's not me saying it. And the roof sinker or sink roofer, I love Honduras. I will do anything to help Honduras. The difference between me and Ilhan Omar is my president is called Donald J. Trump, not the Honduras president. Who are my people? Those who follow the law, those who respect the United States of America and agree with me to defend it from others, whether it be domestic or foreign enemies of our country and our people. Don't compare me to that garbage again. So, I gave you proof. They move thousands. I believe they wanted to have 70,000 Somalis moving to Ohio. Wow. Did you know that, zinc roofer, since you happen to know everything and forget about everything else? Did you know that they're doing that for Ohio? And what do we find in Minnesota? We find the corruption. We find the fraud. We find that Somalis are being used by Democrats because they're allowing it to happen. Somalis, 70,000 Somalis being sent to Ohio. All of a sudden, they became citizens. Very impressive. Thousands and hundreds of thousands of them. Hundreds of thousands of Somalis became citizens. Tell me that's not coincidence. Tell me that's coincidence. No, it's not coincidence. The Democrats allowed over 21 million. This is just a small number. People say it's bigger than that. But they allowed 21 million illegal immigrants to come into this country. And people continue to disregard that those 21 million people can beat the population of 32 to 34 states of the United States of America. Let that sink in. Imagine we distribute all these people to fill these other states, and they will all vote for Democrats unless we do something about it. So to my compadre that called me Luis, I know he doesn't agree with 100% on the whole deporting people. That is why it needs to happen. If we are here in the United States of America and we're just going to allow it to become a third world country, then why the hell did we come here? We came here for a better life. It is our duty to fight for that better life. And it doesn't matter if your cousin is coming here illegally. He's got to go. No, tío, you got to be there. You cannot come here illegally. If you can help a family member that is overseas, okay, by all means, do that. And please stop telling me that the only good thing that immigrants are good for is to pick cotton and to pick fruit and to pick vegetables. Don't be racist. That is racist. You guys want to have slaves is what you want. We don't want slaves. We want people that are independent, people that can choose what they want to do, not what you tell them to do. See, that's a big difference between me and many people out there. So I show you out of their own mouth, the guy is saying, if it wasn't for Somalis, he wouldn't have been elected attorney general, senator. If it wasn't for Somalis, they would have lost the elections. Ilhan Omar, who put her there? Somalis. The population in there, they don't need millions. They just need thousands. That's how that works. There was like 500,000 votes for the two Democrat candidates that were running for Socialist Democrat mayor here in Seattle. It was very small numbers. It's not big. Population in Everett, small. Marysville, small. All these little cities. It sounds like a bunch of cities. They're not big cities. They're small cities. And if you can fill them up with a certain type of people that you can control, you can stay in power. This is why the Washington state is so blue. They cheat. They cheat. But we're going to challenge them, aren't we? We're going to challenge them, aren't we? We're going to do it. We're going to do it together. And we're going to pray, and we're going to let God work through us. All right. Now, I told you that I like Nick Shirley's video, right? But I told you this. Remember, I told you this here on the Dennis Herrera show, and I told you this first. I said, what I don't like about Nick Shirley's video is that now all these communities, all Somalis throughout the whole country, because it's not just Minnesota, it's in Ohio, it's in Oregon, it's in Washington State. Our governor's about to be in deep water right now because they're doing the same thing here. And yes, you guessed it, it was Somalis. They're going to be in deep water. Okay? But I told you, Nick Shirley's mistake, it's really not really a mistake, but the fact that he made that video and that video went viral, it really just woke the Somalis and the fraudsters into saying, hey, whoa, shoot, everybody saw the video. We need to bring some kids in here. Well, guess what, man? There's all these Somali kids. Please, all they got to do is bring their own kids in there, and then bada bing, bada boom, it's fixed, right? So I told you that. So here's the first story. Here's the first story, okay? These guys, this is why we know their IQ is 68 and below. Listen to this guy's story. He is a manager. Now, I want you to pay attention that there was no DEI hiring. This guy was picked because he's very smart, very articulate, very secure and charismatic. And that's why he is one of the managers. Let's take a listen.
Yes, I want to start with the statement, which was a lot of the journalism that's been going on the last couple of days has been really dishonest. I don't want to point fingers at anybody, but I do feel like what was done was someone came to our building outside of operating hours. When there's a specific sign on our door that says our days and our hours, he came outside of those hours and then claimed, hey, they're closed and they're still making money. They're using taxpayer money to work. And it's like, you don't come outside of operational hours and then say they're using taxpayer money. That was completely false. As you can see, we're open Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 10 p.m. He was here earlier. I don't see him right now. So it's like, are you trying to record that we're doing fraud, or are you trying to put the Somali name and the fraud in the same sentence? That's what really hurt us the last couple of days. We're open. We've been open. We haven't closed. We've been open for eight and a half years now. We haven't closed once during that period. So I want to touch on that first. The second thing is, which is kind of laughable, is the sign. We messed up the sign. We paid somebody to do our sign. He incorrectly did it. We're having him work on it. We paid him to correct the sign. He said it'll be done by this week. So by the end of this week, our sign will be fine.
So the sign maker made the mistake, but when they saw it, they read it, and it looked perfect. Yeah, blame it on the sign guy. I don't know how long that sign has been sitting there, but, I mean, let's say they just got it and they corrected it right away, right?
Third thing, which is the fraud claim. There's no fraud going on whatsoever. Kids come to us, clients come to us, their parents come to us, they're here daily, they leave on time, they come on time. There's no fraud going on whatsoever. Where those claims came from, I mean, if a group of people does fraud, you don't paint the brush with everyone in that group. You don't say, hey, there's a group of people that are Somali that are doing fraud. Say, hey, every single Somali must be part of fraud. No, we're business owners. Being a business owner is extremely tough. trying to raise kids that are not yours, that are others, is extremely tough as well. But then for people to come and go like, hey, they're not really working, they're just taking free money. If any of us have children here, raising children is not easy. Trying to help them schoolwork, trying to build their manners is not easy work. So when somebody comes and does that, it's really disheartening in the community itself.
Derek, stop getting ahead of me, man.
As Minnesota, as Somalis, as people that own this business for 8 years now, we do nothing but to uplift the community, uplift our children, uplift one another.
And what is the community? Somalis. What is their children? Somalis. Of course they're going to work for their community. It's their community. It's their Somalia here in Minnesota. Many people know they don't have to go to Somalia no more. They have Somalia here in Minnesota. Except they get snow instead of desert sand. That's the difference. But they still steal. They still cheat. They still rob. They still lie. There is some good people, but we've seen videos, and most of them are scammers. They will do whatever they need to do for money. It is what it is. They're freaking pirates. I'm sorry if that offends somebody. But that's it. This is the manager. You know, this is the son of the owner. That's why he's a manager, not because he's the brightest. And just so you know, I looked it up. The average salary for a manager at a daycare in Minnesota runs up to $80,000 a year. Can you imagine me as a manager, $80,000 a year in Minnesota? No wonder Tampon Tim is saying that Minnesota's got a lot of employment. They got hundreds of thousands of fake employees. That's what that is. Now, they're starting to go ahead and cover their backtracks, and since Derek got ahead of me, well, now I got to play it. So we find that these guys are now telling us, well, here you go, guys. Well, now when you ask us to give you the papers of our employees and all of our records, well, it happens that we got robbed. And they took all of our information, so now we don't have paper to prove it. We never used computers. We never saved it on hard disk drives and secured it with a very strong password. We didn't do that. We wrote everything by hand because in Somali, it's 68 IQ, guys. We can barely use computers to hate on conservative chats and lives. This is what we get paid for, so that we can be on the phone just hating those people that are telling the truth, that hopefully all of our nasty comments drown all of the truth that they're telling about us. That's what they're doing. Well, hey, don't listen to me. Listen to this very articulate, also a manager, also well-spoken. Man, this guy has less of an accent than I do. I got to give him some credit. This guy is so smart, so charismatic, so secure on the information. I mean, if you don't believe this guy, I don't know who you're going to believe. But what I find interesting is some of these guilty white people back here are so stupid. I'm sorry. They earn the names that I call them. Let's take a listen to this genius.
That is spelled NASRULAHMOHAMED. I'm the manager at Nokomis Daycare Center, and today I want to talk about what happened yesterday. Yesterday morning, I was called by the owner because, unfortunately, someone came in to our daycare. The cleaner called the owner and told him what happened and the vandalism that happened. The owner called us. Me and another manager came into the scene around 6 a.m. We looked and saw what happened, and we saw that the suspect came in from the back, broke in from the back kitchen, and he also destroyed the wall to come in. As he came in, he broke a door from the wall from Family Dollar from the side. He couldn't, unfortunately, we don't know if that he went in or not, but we saw that it was damaged. As we walked around the daycare, we saw that our office doors was broken into as well. We saw that, unfortunately, there was important documentation, enrollment of the children, and also employee documentation that was gone. There were also checkbooks that were ripped from our check papers that were ripped from our book. This is devastating news, and we don't know why this is targeting our Somali community, as one video made by a specific individual made this all happen. We've been receiving hateful messages through our voice notes threatening us for the past couple of days, including one that happened yesterday morning when after the break-in. This is frightening and exhausting because this is happening to us Somali communities as Somali Americans. We are supposed to stand with each other and help each other through everything that's happening. This is also sad that a video can cause all of this. I want to say that there are hundreds of daycares out there, Somali daycares that are out there, and we all help our children.
All right, before we let this articulate man talk, I want to point out that the Somalis for this facility was yelling, saying that Nick Shirley was going to be guilty for any Somali being shot in Minnesota or anything that happens to Somali communities. They threaten him. And what do they do the next night? Well, you're listening to the aftermath. Isn't that convenient?
And everyone in our community. We have high quality daycares, and this is very sad news that one individual who made a false claim about fraud that is happening in the daycares engaged everyone else to come and do this to us. We are not a part of any...
So he's blaming Nick Shirley, period. That's what he's doing. He's blaming him. That's what he's doing.
Harmful things that are being said. We have no problem with CCAP, and our licensing has been good, even the inspections. I want to say no intimidation is going to stop us from what is happening and upguiding our community.
They're the victims, Carl. They're the victims again.
Good morning. My name is Mary Solheim, and that is spelled M-A-R-Y Solheim, and I'm a child care provider in Maplewood. I'm here today to support Nokomis, the child care center, the teachers, the families, and their children. What happened here is absolutely unthinkable, and it is the direct result of the inflammatory rhetoric coming from the constant barrage of harassment from not only the current federal administration, but half of our Minnesota legislators as well. But now a random YouTube personality can cause this much fear. Fear needs to stop. Our children, our families, and teachers and providers work hard enough without feeling scared to come to work every single day. What happened here underscores that there is reason to be scared. We heard last night that the federal government that is complicit in this rhetoric is freezing our child care funding for the entire state of Minnesota under the guise of rooting out fraud. This has to stop. It is dangerous.
Now, this hasn't stopped This hasn't started today or yesterday. This has been going on for 10 years. 10 years.
And people are getting hurt. Our child care assistance program that relies on federal funding serves over 20,000 kids in over 4,000 programs. Has anyone considered what happens when 20,000 kids can't get access to child care?
The 20,000 kids are just imaginary. I saw maybe at the most 4 kids at a daycare. I refuse to believe that a daycare that has 102 children in their budget, that they're supposed to be taking care of 102 children, they have maybe 3 or 4 kids in there. I don't buy it. And I'm going to say this, I can't find the video, but there was actually another YouTuber that went to the daycare and said, hey, listen, I came here during business hours. He says, no, you need to come here during business hours. The guy says it's 3:48 p.m. You guys open from 2 to 10. That's what I'm going with this. 2 to 10 they open. The guy was there at 3:48. And the guy was still lying on camera saying that you have to come back at business hours. They think that we're stupid. Like their IQ is so low. I understand. I understand the average IQ in Somalia is 68 to 70. I get it. If you guys don't know why that's important, it's because that's the level of retardation. You can't make this up. For this white lady and all these people that are in here supporting this, what is their IQ? What's going on? What you got, Cutting Edge? Thanks for the super. And Happy New Year again, brother. Someone remembered the past year, the Pakistan man that say if they cut the SNAP benefits, he only have like 2 months left to stay in the USA. Just for the food, guys. Just for the food. If we cut the funding, these people don't have anything. Exactly. And then what are they going to do? These people right here, they depend on that money. And let's not forget that the women that supposedly have these children that supposedly go to work, they don't pay taxes. And if it's 4 wives to 1 man, that's 4 children. That's on SNAP. That's food stamps. That's health care. Plus, they get more money because how many kids they have in the household. Oh, man. And if the husband works, he's going to work minimum, meaning he's never going to be over the bar of making money if he pays taxes at all. And guess how much that tax refund is going to be every single year. You got to look at it. How can you have a very nice car? How can you afford? Hey, hold on. Let's find out. Let me do a little research. I want you to look it up with me, Trinity, or anybody else that's searching stuff. I want you to look and tell me, how many trips does Somali make to Somalia? And then how much is the plane tickets in average from Minnesota to Somalia? I'm going to look for the plane tickets first. I'm going to let her talk her BS while I'll do the search.
That's 20,000 kids whose parents can't go to work. That's 4,000 child care programs whose teachers aren't getting paid. That's entire communities that will soon be shut down. I know the Minnesota child care system inside and out. I know how incredibly difficult it is to commit fraud in the child care assistance program. I also know that our child care providers, who are of Somali descent, are being racially targeted because I have witnessed it firsthand. We want the state to catch child care centers committing fraud. We want them to be.
Yeah, right. If you did, you would have done it a long time ago. Okay, so just to fly from the U.S. to Somalia, okay? If you fly from Minneapolis, right now, okay, and this could change, of course, but the flight is $1,712 per ticket. If you have a wife with 4 children, that's times 4. Okay, that's $2,100. That's about $7,000 for one family to travel. If the husband wants to go, well, that's $8,000, almost $9,000. Okay. Not only that, but then how long are they staying over there for? They're not working. So how do they get so much money to be able to go to Somalia? And let me see if anybody found anything. Let's see. So I said look it up. Okay, I said look it up. So if you say that I made it up, you're not paying attention. I honestly can't help you. Okay, so I'm gonna give the information to those who want to actually grab that information. Yeah, they cashed it and left, baby. Let's see what's the average Somali trip from Minnesota. I don't know if I'm asking that right. To Somalia. All right, so an average trip from Minnesota to Somalia involves long flights, obviously, costing roughly $1,900 to $2,500, taking 18 to 25 hours. But most governments advise against all travel due to high security risks, terrorism, and volatile conditions, making it complex journey usually undertaken by those with family ties rather than typical tourism. Okay, so it's not for tourists, it's just for families to go. And let me see, expect multiple connections. Let's see, duration, 20 hours, prices fluctuate, round trip. The high risk, the U.S. Department of State and other governments issue level 4 do not travel advisories for Somalia, citing terrorism, crime, and kidnapping risks. I might go back to that blogger from yesterday so that we can laugh a little bit more. Most travelers are members of the large Somali diaspora in Minnesota visiting families, not typical tourists. So the people that travel a lot to Somalia are actually Somalis, okay? And in summer, it's a significant undertaking, not a casual trip, requiring careful planning, often bypassing standard tourist routes due to severe security risks. Let's see how far. What's the average Somali? Okay, let's do that. Average Somali flying. Let's see. I got to be able to ask the question right. If you can help me with the question, that would be a lot better. Roofer, this is job. This is work, bro. You guys think you just sit here on the microphone, that's it, huh? If it's that easy, why don't you do it? This is why I have respect for all the people, too. All the YouTubers that do it. It's not easy. It's not easy. And God blesses me one way or another. God blesses me one way or another. And as long as I am in agreement with my wife, that's all that matters. Because when I make a decision and I'm in agreement with my wife, who God is giving me to marry, God blesses that decision. And I have been blessed. It doesn't tell me how many Somali trips. How many Somali trips? Okay, here we go. Let's see. Okay, there's no official account, but it says 84,000 from the Twin Cities. Thousands make regular visits for family, business, or cultural reasons, making it a frequent migration route, though precise travel statistics aren't tracked publicly by government. All right, fair enough. So 84,000 trips. They go from Minnesota to Somalia. 84,000 trips every year. Okay, that's not too bad. Nonetheless, that trip is expensive.
Held accountable. It hurts all of us. It hurts children especially, and it hurts child care centers that are working tirelessly to provide high-quality child care. But fraud does occur across race, across income, and across geography.
The zinc roofer is a retired multimillionaire. This guy. Get out of here, old man.
When a few child care centers that serve white children commit fraud, do we decide that every child care center that serves white children is committing fraud? No.
All right, let's dive into this video. Enough with your distractions over here on the chat. She says, she poses the question, does that mean that if a white daycare commits fraud, does it mean that all white daycares commit fraud? How stupid of a question. Her IQ is lower than Somali people. It doesn't matter if you're white, black. It doesn't matter. If there is fraud in your city, every daycare is going to be looked at. Every. Every daycare. You think it's only happening in Minnesota? I'm going to find something for you while you listen to her video.
The Somali child care community deserves that same respect. This federal administration is actively targeting our Somali neighbors and friends who are the backbone of their communities and an integral part of our larger communities. They are our teachers, doctors, business owners, and child care providers. Their child care centers are the hubs of their communities. Families rely on them for care and counsel, and they go above and beyond when their families need help. And they are being treated as pawns in a political game, a very dangerous game, and it needs to stop. And I have a message for my sisters and brothers
The daycare?
in child care. Thank you for your service, and thank you for being here to love our kids.
Yeah, because her kids are Somalis. Yeah, sure. Get the hell out of here, old lady. How much they pay you? Welcome to Washington State.
Owner?
It's not your business. What do you need? What do you need?
Is this an actual daycare, or are you aware of the Somali daycare fraud going on? We're just trying to check out if this is a real daycare.
I am here as a citizen. I am working now.
Yeah.
Okay? I work. Okay? You don't have to trespass to come my home. That's not right to come.
Where are all the children? If you have a daycare, where are all the children?
I don't have to tell you what I have, what I don't have.
Are you a legitimate
I have
daycare?
there. Okay?
Can you show me proof you're a daycare?
I'm not proving anything for you. Are you government?
Can I bring the government here to inspect you?
I don't mind.
I don't mind. Well, I don't have a video to show you, but I will read something for you. Let me get rid of this old bat. Everything they say is lie anyway. I don't care about what they say. They're lying. All right, the read is, there we go. You missed the calling time, bro. You got to wait. All right. So daycare centers that receive hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxpayer subsidies did not appear to have any children when the Center Square visited the facilities this week, and were either openly hostile or told journalists that they were hoping to have children in their care, but did not have an application available or anyone to talk with about enrolling a child. Sorry about that. Now, here's the thing. Let's pay attention because I don't have a video for you to watch. According to the Fiscal Washington, to Fiscal dot, and you can go here. Fiscal, let me write it down. Fiscal.gov. Make sure I'm typing it right. What is it? No, .washington. .gov. Okay? Yeah. So you guys can go there. According to the fiscal.washington.gov, a home-based daycare on 6th Avenue Southwest called AOC Childcare received $158,931 in taxpayer subsidies and grants. Check this out. From July through November. Thanks, Cutting Edge. They did the same thing as Europe say. Look, the good doctors and engineers, if we don't stop this in 15 or 20 years, we're going to have the same problem. Absolutely. And that's what it's all about. Just get to the problem. If they're innocent, they're innocent. But I'm going to tell you that the way the nasty-ass Ilhan Omar has been acting against the white Americans and Americans in general, she deserves to be in jail because there's no way she just made $30 million in 1 year. No way. All right? Let me continue reading for you guys. When the Center Square returned to that home for a second time on Tuesday, the homeowner immediately called the police and was videotaped as she refused to respond to questions posed by independent journalist Jonathan Cho. Now, Jonathan Cho is here from Seattle, obviously, and I believe that he is connected with Turning Point USA. 3 Federal Way police officers arrived within seconds, but told the woman reporters were allowed to be on the sidewalk, as Jonathan Cho was, and urged her to calm down. Remember the Muslim lady from New York? You guys remember her, right? I'm an Arab Muslim. You are beneath me. You are falling angel. I'm an Arab Muslim. I'm a Muslim woman. I'm a Muslim woman. You can't touch me. I'm a Muslim woman. You're beneath me. I'll probably play it back again because some of you people will probably say that I'm lying about it. But I'm not lying. All right. An officer did enter the home and indicated there were 3 children in the home, but did not verify if those children were daycare attendants. Again, this is her house. She has grandkids. She has children, but they can't verify they're actually somebody else's children that they're taking care of. I refuse to believe that she doesn't have any kids in that house of her own, okay? Bright Star Early Learning on South 317th received $141,686 in taxpayer subsidies from July to November 2025. Now, if you got 3 kids in a daycare and you're getting what was the first amount? $159,000. Okay, it's $158,931. $159,000 for 1 quarter. Multiply that times 4 in a year. That's 300. That's 600. That's like $612,000. $612,000 to the Somali in that 2-story house that you saw. Tell me that she can fit 100 kids in there. That is ridiculous. You guys, boy, if you're buying the lies that there's no fraud, check this out. 141,000 to the next one. When the Center Square stopped by on Monday, a woman refused to answer questions about whether or not there is a daycare inside. I mean, why would you not even at least acknowledge, hey, this is a daycare? She says, what are you looking for? She asked. Do you have a daycare here? Asked TCS. What are you looking for? The woman again asked. Do you have children that you take care of here? We asked again. That's when the woman pulled out her iPhone and began filming the Center Square. Do you have a daycare that operates here? I don't have to answer. Where do you come from? She said before closing and locking the front door. Another Federal Way daycare called Wonder Kids, located on 19th Avenue South, they received $258,000 between July and November. 1 quarter. Again, August, September, October, November. Okay, this one's 4 months. $258,000. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. You know, I'm in the wrong business. I'm going to tell my wife, we need to get a business permit. We need to get a permit that we can have children in the house. We will get a background check. There's no pedophiles in this house. We all have a clean record. But doggone it, $258,000 for a house building. $600,000 a year. $600,000 a year is a daycare in your own home. That, my friends, come on. That is too good. That is way too good. I'm in the wrong business. I'm telling you that right now. I will grab 20 children, feed them, give it. I will say, Trinity, I got a job for you. How would you like to make $100,000, $150,000 a year? Move over here to Washington. I got a job for you. Give you $150,000. I need you to help me homeschool these kids over here. Help me feed them. Help me change some diapers if need to. Help me teach them how to say the alphabet and how to write the alphabet. Teach them how to draw, how to color. Doggone it, $600,000 a year. That is crazy. Other locations not visited by the Center Square that have received much larger taxpayer contribution, including the Azal Family Daycare in Seattle's Rainier Beach neighborhood, receiving more than $690,000 in subsidies and grants in the 5 months. $700,000 in 5 months. That's a huge number. How much is that a year? Wow. Guys, okay, Paul, come on. Please, stop trolling, guys. Listen to the information. Stay on topic. Tell me what you think about these numbers. Just tell me what you think about these numbers, and then maybe I'll think you're real. I hate bots. I hate trolls that are just here to just waste time, and I just don't get it. Nonetheless, thank you for watching the Dennis Herrera Show, and I appreciate you commenting on the chat. Thank you for the likes, for the subscribes, and for those who are members. I actually have 2 superstars as members. That's amazing. Trinity, I will apologize to you and Saltwater because there is no way for me to give you a different icon to show that you're the superstar. Just know that you are my superstar. Okay? All right. People who answered the door at the Federal Way home on Southwest 326th Street on Tuesday called Halimo Daycare said they currently had no children, but were hoping to get some soon. A Facebook post from the city of Federal Way shows on October 9th, 2025, ribbon cutting ceremony for the daycare, indicating it was one of the 3 newly opening centers receiving grant funding. So they got the money, but they didn't get the children. The city of Federal Ways provided funds to Imagine Institute. That's the name of it. A national organization that works with the Department of Children, Youth, and Families in the state of Washington to provide training and resources to help potential child care providers open spaces in cities like Federal Way, wrote Federal Way Communications Manager Ben Miller via email. The total contract was worth $80,000 and signed in 2024. That's nothing. The majority of the funds provided 480 hours of training to 3 different child care providers in our city that included hands-on learning and mentorship. El Chingon, no, don't give away the memberships. These people don't like me. Okay, World Radio 332. All right, that's a good one. That's a real person that does support me. Kevin TG, I don't remember if that's the good Kevin or the bad one. Happy Mac, you better be nice. Matt Parenty. Please tell me that these people that just got a free gift membership are actually good people. Please. All right. Miller indicated some of the money was also used to buy materials and furniture. He said it was a one-time funding, but did not respond to further questions about the expected operational date for the center. Of the 25 home-based daycare providers within a 1-mile radius on Federal Way, 12 of the providers listed on child care aware of Washington are identified as Somali and accept multiple state subsidies. Yeah, we're really picking just on Somalis, guys. We really are just picking on them for political reasons, of course. The Center Square spoke with Washington State Republican Party Chair and State Rep Jim Walsh. Jim Walsh is a good guy. I like Jim Walsh. Not to be confused with Tim Walsh, which is Tampon Tim. Jim Walsh, representative for Aberdeen, about the potential fraud allegations and how state lawmakers may respond. The far left has been using childcare as a focus group, of course they are, talking point for the last few years. He said, indicated, ends up being a grift. And when they talk about wanting to support childcare, this is something that they clearly resonate with people. But they have treated it like a grifting enterprise similar to the carbon tax, where money allocated for a good purpose, in this case subsidizing child care for working families, ends up not actually doing what it supports to do. Now I'm going to put a pause there because one of the things that happens here in Washington State, and the reason why, oh yeah, by the way, yeah, thank you so much, El Chingon. I was so preoccupied on not giving memberships to people that don't like this show. I I'd rather just do one, one super chat. You can PayPal it. If you PayPal, I think I get all of it. If you super chat in YouTube, then YouTube gets 30% of that. Just so that you guys know, okay? Let's see. Oh my goodness. So taxes, they increase taxes so crazy over here in Washington State, and they always mention schooling system. So they give billions and billions of dollars in taxes, saying that this benefits the schools, and they never do. They not always never. There is some schools that are pretty nice. But every year they collect taxes is something new that they're going to do every year, and they don't do that. So that's crazy. But I'll dig into that when I'm running against them. I will definitely do my research for that. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate you. Let's see where we're at right now. We are 14,795. 5 more people, and we're at 14,000.8. All right, 14.8. All right, let's continue reading here. Walsh said the full picture potential fraud in Washington isn't yet known, but he noted parallels to what has been happening in Minnesota. If you guys didn't know, Bob Ferguson, the governor here of Washington State, has been meeting with Tampon Tim in Minnesota. Okay, let's call him by his name. Tim Walsh. She's like, now I'm calling him Jim. Tim Walsh. Tim Walsh, not be the same as Jim Walsh. He's been meeting with him, and it is just a coincidence that you have all these Somalis here now, and the Somali daycares, not daycares, Somali daycares have been getting all these subsidies. Why not the rest of the daycares? Why not other people that are having, like if I had a daycare here, why wouldn't I get some of that, right? Other daycares are not getting that. That's the problem here, okay? Let's see. The story is still emerging here in Washington, but there are structural similarities, so it may be a little premature to say that the depth and breadth of the grift here is as bad as Minnesota, but it's troubling, he said. Other independent journalists, including Cam Higbee and Kristen Magnuson, are also working to uncover potential fraud. Posts on X and Facebook regarding the issue, along with comments, indicate a desire for any misuse of taxpayer funds to be exposed. Why? What is the one thing that I've been telling my subscribers for a very long time? And here you go, guys. Remember, we talked about this how many times? And I told you about Washington State taxes, how the NGOs, Trinity knows, she knows me better than anybody. I've been talking about NGOs, money laundering. They put billions of dollars into these things. Nobody knows where the money goes. Well, they're finding out some now. Now, they're finding some. And this is all connected. There is no doubt. This is all connected. And I want the people that have been cheating the American people to be held accountable for. I want to see some arrest. I want to see people go to jail. And I'm going to tell you that Democrats and the deep state Democrats, they are all dirty and corrupted. I wouldn't put it past them that if they will kill somebody. Melissa Horton. She is not coincidence. But who am I? I'm not the FBI investigating. Walsh said the legislative solution to ending this type of potential fraud is simple. The solution would be to require the same kind of reporting by non-governmental organizations that political campaigns have to make currently through the PDC, the Public Disclosure Commission, Walsh said. So if an NGO, there we go, if an NGO is receiving money from a state agency, often the State Department of Commerce or other agencies, if they are receiving grant money from these state bureaucratic agencies, they have to make the same disclosures that a political campaign has to make about how it brings money in and how it spends the money. The Department of Children, Youth and Families, which distributes funding for child care subsidies to providers, told the Center Square that it would investigate any of the questionable locations TCS visited this week. I am working to gather how much has been provided for child care subsidies. Director of External Communications, Nancy Gutierrez, told the Center Square. She pointed out a website where information on subsidy participation is noted for each daycare. Through the subsidies they are receiving are not indicated. The DCYF put out a news release on Wednesday regarding media coverage that state, in part, the safety of children and the people caring for them is a top priority for the DCYF. Video recording in public spaces is not illegal. However, if an interaction appears threatening in nature or puts children at risk, please call the law enforcement. All right, so there you go. Safety of children. That's all they want. They want the safety of the children. So if there's no threat to the children, they can record. Okay? All right, that's what I got from that. And I think that was it. Yeah, so there you go. Somali is in deep doo-doo because of their fraud. Poor lady and her husband, that was horrible. And Tim Walz appointee who shot them said Walz had him do it. You know what? That's what the Trinity. This is what it destroys me. Like how are Democrats able to just get away with everything, and yet they blame Republicans for exactly what they are doing, and they get away with it? Well, the simple answer is the judges are corrupted. The judicial system has been sold out to somebody's deep pockets. And the good thing is that the judicial system cannot tell the executive system, the judicial branch cannot tell the executive branch what to do when it comes to negotiations with international dealings, and also when it comes to visas and green cards and all these other things that Marco Rubio can actually do. They cannot tell them how to deal with things. They're following the law. They're following the book. It's constitutional. The people that fail to follow these rules in the law, they will be stripped from their privilege of having either a student visa, a visiting visa, a green card, or even a naturalized citizenship. All right? So there's that. Oh, here we go. 34-time felon. Here we go. These people don't have nothing concrete, nothing new, nothing. You guys just got nothing. All right, let's go ahead and give them a little bone. Let's give them a reward. This will be painful to me, but we got to listen to it. All right, I'm going to lose probably half of my Republican conservatives, American patriots that are MAGA supporters because of this crap, but we got to listen to see what they say. Okay, I don't care about their music. Just get your ass over here.
We also celebrate the hundreds and thousands of public servants and city leaders getting to work today, from our sanitation workers and librarians to our commissioners, deputy mayors, and our school's chancellor, as they care for our city and its people in the coming weeks, months, and years. Together, this ascent marks a new era for New York City, led by a historic new mayor in Zohran Mondani, guided by his dedication to a working class that makes our beautiful city run. Importantly, I also ask that we consider today an inauguration for each one of us, too, the nearly 8.5 million New Yorkers who make up the greatest city on earth. Because it is the people of New York City who have chosen historic, ambitious leadership in response to untenable and unprecedented times. New York, we have chosen courage over fear. We have chosen prosperity for the many over spoils for the few. And when the entrenched ways would rather have us dig in our feet and seek refuge in the past, we have chosen instead to turn towards making a new future for all of us. In Zohran Mondani, we have chosen a mayor who is relentlessly dedicated to making life not just possible, but aspirational for working people. New York City has chosen the ambitious pursuit of universal child care, affordable rent and housing, and clean and dignified public transit for all. And we have chosen that over the distractions of bigotry and the barbarism of extreme income inequality. We have chosen this path because we know that it's the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do, and that if we can make it here, we can make it anywhere. New York City, this is an inauguration for all of us, because choosing this mayor and this vision is an ambitious pursuit. It calls on all of us to return to public life en masse. Now is the time for us to turn towards our neighbors, stand with them, and return to community life. A city for all will require all of us to fill our streets, our schools, our houses of faith, our PTAs and our block associations as we support this mayor in making an affordable city a reality for all of us. Zohran Mondani will be the first Muslim mayor of our great city. He will be our first immigrant mayor in over a century. And he will be the youngest mayor of New York City in generations. But most importantly, Zohran will be a mayor for all of us. With that, let us extend our deepest well wishes and support to Zohran, his wife Rama, and his family, as well as those of our public advocate, Jumani Williams, and controller, Mark Levine. We send you, your spouses and families, and all your loved ones, all the support in the world as you embark on this great pursuit of a better city and future for all. Felicidades.
Run Gosai and Sardeep Tandeep Kaur.
Let us pray. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Arham Ar-Rahimin, most merciful of those who show mercy, we turn to you on this day from our city with hopeful hearts. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for the amazing individuals you have gathered here, diverse in color, language, journey, and name, but united in purpose, stitched together by shared hopes, all yearning to build something meaningful, lasting, and rooted in love, dignity, respect, and justice, no longer for the few, but for all. We come before you mindful that moments like this do not arrive on their own. They are carried forward by sacrifice, by organizing, by courage, by people who refuse to accept that the way things were was the way they had to remain.
Say so.
We come knowing that this day stands on the shoulders of so many who were told to wait their turn.
That's right.
To quiet their demands, to lower their expectations, but instead chose to believe that another New York was possible. We recognize that belief is not abstract. It was practiced by tenants organizing against displacement, by workers demanding fair wages, by parents advocating for their children's futures, by communities who kept showing up even when the odds said they should not. We gather today with hearts shaped by this city, by its noise in its neighborhoods, by its subways and sanctuaries, by the dreams carried in many languages and the prayers whispered on crowded blocks. We thank you for New York City, for a place that has taught the world how difference can become strength, how survival can become solidarity, how strangers can become neighbors, and for being a place that taught us that a young immigrant, democratic socialist Muslim can be bold enough to run and brave enough to win. Not by abandoning conviction, but by standing firmly within it. Not by shrinking who he is, but by trusting that authenticity can move a city towards justice. We thank you for the beautiful diversity of this city, for a people formed across continents and generations, across race and religion, culture and class. Teach us to never see that diversity as something to manage or fear, but as a sacred trust, a collective inheritance that expands our moral imagination and strengthens our shared future. On this day of transition and responsibility, we ask you to bless this moment of leadership and all who are entrusted with the weight of public service. Grant wisdom to Mayor Zohran Mondani and remind him that leadership is not about power but about proximity to the people who struggle, to the voices too often ignored, to the lives behind the statistics. Keep him close to the realities of this city, to the family doubling up in a one-bedroom apartment because rent has outpaced wages, to the home health aide commuting hours each day to care for others while struggling to afford care for themselves, to the public school student navigating overcrowded classrooms, to the small business owner choosing between closing their doors or passing rising costs onto neighbors who already have too little. Bless him with the courage to remain grounded, the humility to keep learning, and the strength to lead with principle, even when the pressure to compromise is loud. Right. Let his leadership reflect the movements and communities that made this moment possible, and never let him forget that this office exists to serve the people, not to rise above them. We lift up all those who came together to make what many said can never happen, happen. Organizers and volunteers, neighbors who spoke to neighbors, young people who believed their voices matter, elders who remembered past struggles and recognized this moment as part of a longer arc. Bless those who knocked on doors in the cold, who stood on street corners with clipboards and hope, who had difficult conversations rooted in love, and who chose participation over despair. Let the spirit that carried this moment forward not fade after today, but deepen and always endure. Make this city affordable for the families who built it and the workers who sustain it. Let no one have to choose between rent and dignity, between medicine and meals, between staying and surviving. We lift before you those living paycheck to paycheck in the shadow of unimaginable wealth. Those working multiple jobs, yet still one emergency away from crisis. Those whose labor keeps the city moving, but whose lives feel increasingly pushed to the margins. Let justice not be a slogan, but a structure. Let equity not be a promise, but a practice. Let policy be shaped by compassion and budgets reflective of our values. Protect the most vulnerable amongst us, our children and elders, our immigrants and asylum seekers, our unhoused neighbors, our workers, our artists, our caregivers, and the students who keep this city alive. Heal what has been broken by neglect and greed. Soften hearts hardened by fear. Replace cynicism with courage and despair with collective hope. And let that hope be something we practice daily, not something we push back. Let it live in our policies, our streets, our schools, and our systems. Teach us that hope is not passive. It is built through accountability, through care, and through a refusal to abandon one another. Remind all New Yorkers, those born here and those who arrived yesterday, that the city belongs to all of us and that our liberation is bound together. Help us show up for one another, not just in moments of crisis, but in the long, patient work of care. Teach us that the city we pray for is the city we must also build. And make this administration and all of us who call this place home a means of mercy, a force for fairness, and a reflection of your justice in this world. Let this moment be not an ending, but a beginning. Let what was once thought impossible become the standard by which we measure our future. And let New York City continue to show the world what is possible when people believe in one another and continue to show that respect, dignity, and compassion are no longer for the few, but for the all. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Well done. Well done, Imam. Well done.
Why?
Lamento que están pasando tanto frío, pero ni modo. ברוכים הבאים לכולכם, איזה כיף שבאתם. Shalome puime ezomazisas. Now, for those of you who do not know Spanish, Hebrew, or Greek, welcome, thank you, and please download Duolingo. Now, I know what you're all thinking. What the heck is a comptroller? Excellent question. This job is about ensuring that people who have spent their lives working for this city can retire with dignity. It's about ensuring that our budget reflects our values, that our government inspires the trust of its people. A comptroller also understands the consequences for working class families when they are excluded from our economic system. I have seen this in my own neighborhood of Washington Heights, where far too many families, for far too long, have been held back from achieving their dreams, blocked from banks, and forced to rely instead on pawn shops and loan sharks. Back in the 1990s, I founded a community credit union uptown to change this. This financial cooperative, owned by the community, has lent out over $100 million in small loans in the neighborhood with a 98% repayment rate, proving that when you give working people an opportunity, they will seize it. This is what our city must do now on a grand scale. Build an economy where we care for each other, where our prosperity is shared, where everyone has a fair shot. Our city today is booming for people at the top, but it's getting tougher and tougher for working families to pay their rent, to find a job with a living wage, and yes, Mr. Mayor, to find affordable child care. A comptroller must use the tools of the office to close.
Thank you, guys. So I see my whole family of patrons here. You're muted right away. You guys don't want to hear the garbage that I'm playing. I know. Just stay. We gotta give him a chance, okay? I know right now I sound so special. My voice sounds like an angel's voice to you after listening to these demons lie to everybody. So I'm going to say this, guys. You have to be realistic. Everything they're saying is the right thing, you know. You want to, except for the rich thing. For some reason, Democrats, they like to think, or socialists, let's just say socialists, they like to think that rich people are the problem, you know, for high prices. Let me tell you, the governor runs a budget for every state. You got mayors in every county, for every city. And they have a responsibility to run the city and the state, the county. And when they raise taxes on, for example, real estate investors, well, that price is going to go up. When you raise taxes on gas, prices goes up. Food goes up. When you have an overpopulated city, the demand is so high that it makes everything unaffordable for housing. And it doesn't matter what we say or what we show people, even if the truth is hitting them in the face. Okay? Right now, they think that by adding a 2% tax on the rich people, the very rich people, and let's not forget that he said white people. He was going to raise taxes on the white neighborhoods. I find that a little bit of racist, but okay. We'll give him that. Watch the demise of New York City. I keep saying Washington because that's my state. I apologize. But it's the same blue state. I have the same sentiments about Washington and Seattle. New York has always been hectic, overpopulated. I think it's just, I have never, ever, ever been tempted to even go visit New York. It is the last place everywhere in any state that I would love to visit. I just wouldn't. It's not even on my wish list at all. I don't want to go visit at all. There's nothing attractive about New York to me. Now, if you guys like city, okay, well, that's you guys. I find no attraction. And when I hear of the pricing and the taxing and all this hectic, the traffic way overpopulated, people have to walk miles to get to work. They have to start riding bikes like if they were in Japan or China or some small town. They're going to have to start getting a bunch of tuk-tuks over there. And the way that we're having all these Muslims and Middle Easterns and all these illegal immigrants in New York, might as well have it. It's going to turn into a third world country right there in New York. They won't know the difference because they're used to dirty. They're used to garbage on the floor. They're used to just wearing a sheet as a fashion clothing. They're so used to getting handouts. Nobody's going to want to go to work at all. Why go to work? Why go to work at all? Let's just tax the rich people. The socialists have no incentive to go to work. Tell me, if you get free food, if you get free housing, and if you get free medical, what is the incentive for you to want to go to work? Why would you want to make $70,000 a year when you have to use all of it to pay for everything that you are already getting for free? Some people do a hustle side, sell drugs, part-time job. Okay, at least that's respectable. People celebrate this, but they don't see the consequences of what's happening. I'm playing it because I need to, as much as it burns me to hear this, because I already know what they're saying. I already know what they're going to do. I already know how they're going to work. And it doesn't matter. We have warned people this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and you still don't get it. You still fight us. You still think that your way is the best. You can be eating a pile of crap, of poop with whipped cream and a cherry on top, and you think that is wonderful. But it's still a pile of poop. You want to go more into dependability on the government. Government-owned stores. They're going to charge you whatever they want. And you're going to pay it. And they're still going to blame the rich man. They're still going to blame the billionaires because that's what they do. They don't teach you that you are worth it to go to work. Be independent. That's old school thinking. That's old school mentality. Why go to work when we have the government? What happens when the government gets shut down? You just experienced it. And yet you cheer. You cheer what's happening here. You think I'm wrong, that's okay. But what you're witnessing is so sad, you have no idea. That lady wearing the transgender outfit, you have no idea. You have no idea how serious that is. Because you think of a certain way. Some of you guys probably don't even have the will to live. Some of you guys need so much affirmation about yourselves that you're so pathetic that you need validation from other people. I wish you needed validation that you did something very good. But you don't want that. You want validation for your sin. You want to hear that your sin, it's okay to continue sinning on. You call President Trump a pedophile, and yet you allow a Muslim who worships a pedophile. We don't worship Trump. We support him because we worship God. Islam was created from the government to conquer the world for the government. Christianity was given to us by Christ to conquer the world for God, not for ourselves. This is what the Christians did. They messed up. The evil men used Christianity, and that cost image. We still have to put up with it. What do you got? Boot up says, I have a 750 square foot, 1-bedroom apartment in Washington Heights. View of the Hudson River. My rent is $1,900. Whew, bro. Bruh. Is that cheap for you? Jonathan, stop calling people dumb when you're dumb. Tell me this. For all of you guys, okay, my turn to ask you guys some questions. For all of you who support Mondani in New York, I want you to tell me, and you can gang up on this one. Hey, Richard, you guys can gang up on this. Yeah, $1,900 is hell expensive. No, that's way too expensive. See, I see. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. People it's a great deal. It's a great deal. That's what they say. It is ridiculous. 1-bedroom apartment used to cost over here $500. It is worth that much now. Almost $2,000. From $500, that's a big freaking difference. I'll tell you that right now. That is crazy. Now, I just have one question. How do you think that they're going to lower housing cost? All right, go ahead. Give me a call. Anybody. Anybody that supports Mondani, give me a call. And then I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Maybe just one. Just one question, if you answer it right. Go ahead, give me a call. Go ahead, call the number.
This gap, and I will. We will invest tens of millions of dollars in new units of affordable housing to build all over the 5 boroughs.
All right. Just dial the number. It's on the it's in the pin chat. If you're in New York, you just dial the number as it is. If you want to block the number, you can dial star 67. Oh, that's pretty good, Trinity. Yeah, that's very nice. Don't get ahead, Raider. Let them answer the question when they get here. Checking the stats over here. I want to say thank you guys for getting us to past 14.8 thousand subscribers. Appreciate you. What the hell are you guys voting on? You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy. That's not what I want. You guys are crazy. All right, thanks for calling. Who's calling?
My name is Mono.
Mana? All right, brother. Go ahead. How do you plan on lowering housing costs?
Okay, so you need to build more houses.
Okay.
Well, if you look at Washington, for example, which is a great place to start,
Uh-huh.
because I've been to Washington, I've been to Kent. You notice everything's all built.
I live in
near
Washington.
Tacoma, SeaTac.
Yeah.
It's all built.
Yeah.
Like you have nothing built. Like Akima, like anything. If you go south to Vancouver, near Portland, Vancouver, Washington, you got some houses there.
Yeah.
It's a good place to live because then you get no sales tax if you work in Portland, and then you get no income tax if you live in Vancouver or Washington. So
Yeah, that's way the hell down on the border.
yeah.
Okay,
If you
so
notice everything in between, it's like you can't. There's no permits.
I would agree with you if we didn't have so many illegal immigrants, because that is actually how you lower price cost. But have you seen how the price cost? It's actually more when it's a new property. See, they don't make new properties, and I'll give you an example of which properties they do lower some, right? So what they have been doing here in Washington State, and I wanted somebody from New York because I hate New York. I don't find anything attractive about New York. I don't hate the people. I'm not a city guy, right? But if you know, I'll give you one example here in Washington. So there is a lot of new, like they have built in Everett, Linwood, the Militaries. They have built thousands of new apartment complexes, and what the government is doing is that it's forcing builders to create a very low income house, and it's causing for them to obviously lose money. So what they have to do is, let's say for example, okay, there is a great price. I'm going to give you a great price. Okay, in Everett, Washington, there is an apartment community. There's no yard. It's just buildings, right? I hate that kind of living, to be honest, but it's still a housing. Okay, and there is a 4-bedroom. And I was like, whoa, four bedroom for $2,500. That's a steal. I mean, you know what I'm saying? 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. I think it was 2 baths or 3 baths. 2 baths, I think. I was like, whoa, that's a steal. That's awesome. You know, let me go apply for this. Bro, when we apply, because we are over the income threshold, we have to pay $3,400. And it's like, okay, that's ridiculous, because $2,600, that is a steal. That's actually the right price, and you don't get to see that often. $2,600 is a lot of money here in Washington. Now, the problem is that the way that the people look at, Washington State, you know, the house, $33,000, that's nothing. The average pay in Seattle is $75,000. That's in Seattle. Average pay over here is about $35,000. You can't afford rent at $3,300 on a $35,000 income. You won't even make it 10 months.
People do, you know, you have like 3 or 4 people who live together, you know. So
yeah,
you
and
get like 2 or 3 roommates and share the cost.
Yeah, but that's a problem. So here, like somebody says, 1,900 is it's okay, right, for a 1-bedroom. Well, in a 1-bedroom, what have they have been doing here in Washington State, and this is why it's so expensive. It's every apartment community has the rule of, if you have a 1-bedroom, you can have 3 people stay in that 1-bedroom.
You have to. You need to.
Well, no, it's like, so there's it's like a fire hazard thing. It's a housing rule. So you get 2 people per bedroom, and then 1 person for the living room. This is a statistic. This is housing rules, and it really is for fire hazard, etc. So if you have a 2-bedroom, of course, 5 people. 3-bedroom, then you have now 7 people, and that works. That's okay. That's okay. So the problem is that when we have low demand, meaning that our population is good, you know, it's where it's supposed to be. Apartment communities, there's many in between. They have to fight to give the best rate when they have 90% occupancy or less. So they have to give a lower price, meaning if my apartment is $2,000, guess what, man? I need to get 10% more up. I'm going to put it down at $1,600, and then you get a full year, at least a full year agreement at that price. But once that price expires, that lease expires, you have to pay the price that we were asking plus the increase. And what happens is, like you said, the way that you are able to afford this pay, I believe this is the way people live in New York and in other cities. They bunch up, they cram like 10 people into a 1-bedroom. And everybody now has a nice car. Of course,
co-sign on the lease agreement.
Yeah, and I mean, how many times have we seen people that they don't really follow that agreement, and the people that co-sign, they get screwed. So overpopulation is the cause for high pricing, because a lot of people are filling these apartments that normally they wouldn't, but because
the only reason why an apartment doesn't cost like $20,000 a month is because of immigration. You know that because the GDP is going up. That's why the dollar is worth, you know, because people have the faith in the dollar.
Yeah.
And the only reason the GDP will go up is when you have more people coming in. Now, the birth rate is going down. So if you had no immigrants, America's population would be declining. Now, if you look at Japan and you look at Korea, their currency is inflating.
Yeah.
Now, luckily, their currency is sort of based on our currency, is tied to our currency.
Yeah.
So it's not that big of a deal for them. But for us, it's a huge deal because our currency is based on our own currency.
Okay. So now let me ask you a question. Why do you think that our birth rate is dropping?
I think the reason the birth rate is dropping is because, you know, it's you have family values, but you don't have, you know, it's very hard to really. It's not like in most places. It's a lot hard to find a girl. You know, you have to take her on dates. You know, get married. It's like she want you to have a degree. You know, 6 figures. And all this.
It's not a bad answer. It's not a bad answer. But the main reason why Americans don't want to reproduce too much is because of the cost of living, and it's a circle. It's a vicious circle, because the more migrants. No, it's not. Listen, even if you want to go to college, listen. If one person in the household, as it used to be, if one person in the household can work, and the other person stay home, you will have mothers at home taking care of the children. It's a hard job, but
you do have that. You have that Latino, and you have that in Muslim communities.
Well,
Those
yeah,
are the communities you're trying to keep out.
But here,
you have that already in Latino and Muslim communities.
Let me land the plane real quick. So we have this thing that we can't say it at once, but you have to think about it this way. Okay, high demand, right? Low supply. Everything goes expensive. It's a given. That's a formula. It's proven. That's how it works. If I can tell you this, in my household, if I can be the only one that works. Now I've been the only one that works for many years in my marriage, except for the last few months, right? But if I can be the only one working, my wife wants to stay home with the kids, but we can't afford it. We both got to find a way to make money. Now I don't make as much money here, obviously, and YouTube, whatever. But who knows? Maybe one day, right? But we can't do that. So I'm going to go back to the whole American dream, okay? You want to have a house with a white picket fence, right? You want the wife to stay at home, or the husband. It don't matter. Whatever.
But you can also keep in mind the American dream was for immigrants.
Well, no, it was for Americans, and the only reason.
It was also for immigrants.
No, it's not for immigrants.
It's about,
no, that's bull crap.
Italians. It was everyone.
Okay, here. Why do you think is the American dream for immigrants? Give me that.
Okay, well, let's first talk about, you just made a good point about population. So the two biggest communities that reproduce a lot and have, big families are Latinos and Muslims. But these are the two communities you are fighting so hard to try to keep out of the country. You're saying they're horrible, this and that. You realize without these two communities alone, our country would collapse. We'd be in a great depression.
Our economy was doing great before they came.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, yes, it is. So I ask you the question because the answer that you will give me will determine what I tell you.
It shows how bad Russia is doing.
Okay, no. Forget about Russia. Let's get back to the question. Why would you call it the American dream for immigrants?
No, look, the whole thing, whether it was Europeans, Irish,
Italian, no, don't go that far. Don't go that far.
From the founders.
Okay, here, I'll answer it for you. I'll answer it for you. The reason why it is the American dream for immigrants is because this country was the most powerful, better economically, has better parts for work, has better stats for families to be united, to have a one person working, to own a house at a very young age in the 20s. That's why it's the American dream, and migrants want that. But they think that the American dream belongs to them, so they come here. If they came here legally, I get it. But illegally, that's not their dream. If they believe that their migrants are building this country, they need to build their own country. Build Mexico. Build Mexico. Build Honduras. That is a bullshit lie that they've been telling us, that immigrants built this country. No, we didn't.
Venezuela, they're trying to build Venezuela. Every time the U.S. is attacking Venezuela, destroying their economy.
Wait, correct that.
They're not understand how the world works.
They're not attacking Venezuela. Who are they attacking?
Ukraine. What is Russia doing to Ukraine? How can they build Ukraine?
Listen, they're not attacking Venezuela. Who are they attacking?
They won't even send.
It's not Venezuela.
To defend
They're not attacking Venezuela. Who are they attacking?
look, I'm not saying Maduro is a good guy, but the fact
That's
is
who
the
they're
US
attacking. They're not attacking Venezuela.
Shouldn't be blowing up the refinery.
He is not
Blowing
Venezuela.
up their fisher boats. It's not. It's all,
Okay, but see, okay,
the
but
only reason they're doing it is not even for oil. It's because the Epstein, they trying to avoid this. They
bro,
want to distract.
see, no, don't bring Epstein onto that bullshit, dude. Come on, don't tell me you
let's
buy
just
into
talk
that.
about housing, because
No, see, well, I already so
so
you're not going to agree with me because everything I'm telling you is what I have encountered, believe, and experience. I have experience with real estate, apartment management. I know all these things about housing.
Brother, I'm building a $400,000
Okay,
RV
so what's stopping you from giving cheap apartments to people? What's stopping you from giving free rent?
But you know what's really successful in the West Coast? RV parks. That's what's really successful. And I was raised in Alabama.
Who wants to live in an RV park?
It's going to be a resorty one. It's going to be near waterfalls and stuff.
Okay.
But it's not going to be expensive.
Okay, so my oath has always been to protect the United States of America, not illegal immigrants. So I can never put them in an equation for success for America. I can tell you right now, prices were a lot better before these millions of illegal immigrants came into our country. The economy was doing fantastic, my friend. I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to prove it to you. In the last 4 years, we've had over 21 million illegal immigrants come into this country. Tell me how much better the economy is. Tell me how much better off people are. Tell me how much money do we have on healthcare.
So let's talk about
No. Listen.
Let's talk Obama. After Obama came,
my friend, I already gave you 13 minutes. I can't give you the whole night. So ask me one question. Ask me one question.
In Bush's last year before Obama took over.
Oh, I love that people bring unemployment numbers. How many people?
13%.
How many people lost their jobs?
The Great Depression.
Yeah. How many people lost their jobs because they shut down the whole country? Millions and millions.
The Republicans shut it down.
Man, they forced President Trump to shut it. President Trump said, open up the country many times, and he was shut down. He didn't know how much power he had, to be honest. But now he does. So tell me, and I'm going to make the same argument because the people on the left always trying to make fun of this number. They say, President Trump says, oh, I am reducing the price of medication. What is it called? Oh my God, I can't think. Medicamento. Prices of drugs. I'm going to lower them by 800%. And then Democrats just laugh. Aha, that's so stupid. How can it be negative 800%? What they don't understand is that we are paying 800% on some medicines compared to other countries. So when we pay the regular pricing that everybody does, that's what's bringing 800% the price of what we were paying, meaning that we were getting ripped off. So I will give you the same example of how the Democrats don't get to see these numbers. When I hear that Biden created millions of jobs, when they make me lose my business because of their stupid COVID fear, that's not creating a job for me when I come back to work. They made me lose my business. So when they make people in the whole country lose millions and millions of jobs, it doesn't mean that they created millions of jobs. But when Trump makes jobs here in this term, that is positive millions of jobs. That's not jobs that he shut down and then he reopened. That's not how that works. So that's why my rebuttal with that.
Texas 1 million jobs alone. And that's why Texas has more registered Democrats. But everyone can see.
Democrats have been cheating for a long time, my friend. And don't worry, it's coming out.
We'll see in the midterms.
The midterm, I'll tell you this. If we lose the midterms,
Kentucky,
this country's effed up. And then it's nothing that we're going to say.
I think it's the greatest country on
Did you
earth.
not see? Oh, well, that's because we are the greatest country, but that's only going to last for a few years. That's not going to last forever.
Under Obama.
It's been going down since Obama.
I think when you look at when the Democrats took over, they make the country great. Look at how Bush had it at the end of his term. 13% unemployment, then Obama fixed everything immediately.
Here, okay, I'm going to go with your answer. Because I like to think when people give me information. That's how I get fed. So you told me that the country was doing great under Obama. What about George Bush?
So during George Bush, it
Yeah.
was doing all right.
It was
too,
all right.
but
Okay, it was all right.
You remember at last year when you had the real estate bubble, right?
Yeah.
So after that happened, we had 13% unemployment rate. You know, the
Okay.
Great Recession.
Yeah.
So,
So-
then when Obama get in, he dropped it all the way back to 4%.
And what did Obama do
And no,
that was different?
so Obama, he did a lot of federal, jobs, and just like you said with Trump, he's cutting all these federal jobs. But,
What did he
a
do
lot of
to my
these jobs-
people?
My mom worked for the government, so a lot of these jobs are actually very important.
Yeah,
And,
but what did he do to my people?
which people? His Latinos?
My Latinos. What did he do to Latinos?
But he was deporting a lot better. He was deporting more fairly. He wasn't deporting people who were.
He was
here
putting
legally.
children in
He
cages.
wasn't deporting green card holders. He wasn't deporting people who are here legally.
You know
He was only
why?
Deporting people who are illegal.
Because when Obama was doing it, nobody was on the streets blocking. Nobody was going over there protesting and
Trump
losing their
is
privileges.
detaining American citizens, and he's denying due process. Because when Obama's deporting people, he'd give you a citation. He'd tell you to come to court. You don't come to court. Okay, now you're fleeing the date. He does it. It's a process, When Trump is doing it, there's no process. He's just sending ICE everywhere to random places, and he's
Hold on.
detaining American citizens.
Zig Rufer, you'll never be allowed back in my channel, man. I'm sick of you. You'll never be allowed in my channel.
I'm glad we had this conversation.
No, man, you're good. Hold on a second. It's just this guy. I wish that he will give me some information to work with, but he's just an asshole, and I can't stand that. Like, come on, man. You've been in my channel how many months, and you're still the same asshole. At some point, you got to be smarter when you talk, man. Not you. It's like, what you're telling me, it makes sense. I'm arguing with you, but it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not putting you down. I'm arguing with you because what you're saying makes sense, and I see why. But then I have this other side that I'm looking at, and it's just like, how do we prove it? Well, Obama deported all these people. Whether he did it the right way or the wrong way is irrelevant. What I tell you that I see today, right? The reason why green card holders are being deported is because he's implementing the law. See, were you born here or are you a migrant?
I was born here.
Okay, see, most people that are born here, they don't know. There is requirements, like qualifications, right? In order for you to get a green card, you got to have a requirement. And in order for you to keep it, you got to maintain that requirement. And if you want to be a citizen, of course you have to maintain that requirement, and you got to prove that you've been sufficient, etc. So a lot of people that are born here, they don't know that. So when they become residents or citizens, they think that is done deal. But they don't know that there is a time period that if they go over there and they become felons by going over there obstructing federal agents, they think ICE is just some border patrol cheap agent. They don't understand. They're federal agents. They work for the federal government. And when they go over there, they start breaking windows of federal agents. That is a felony. They can get arrested. They don't have enough people, so they don't do it for everybody. But there has been green card holders that have been crack addicts, that have been breaking the law, that caused for them to lose their green card. Like the guy Mahmoud, right, from the university protesting with Palestine, blah, blah, blah. As an activist, you cannot do that. You lose your green card for that. And it's a student visa, I believe, is what he had, I think, if I'm right. There's a privilege, and when you go into protests, into activist activities, you lose that privilege. So people are saying, oh, they're deporting everybody, even legal people. No, I see citizens all the time. They say, I'm a citizen. You can't touch me. You can't touch. Lady, get the hell away from the area. The people are trying to leave. That you're obstructing an investigation area. There is an area, a space that you're supposed to give them to work. And so I can't defend them because I see them. As a matter of fact, if you stick around, I'm going to go ahead and show you a video from the crime shaft, and you see what I'm talking about. But you have good points. So the main thing that I'm going to say is you are pro-migrants, which is good. I am pro-migrants as well, but I am against illegal immigration. And unfortunately, I didn't feel like this at all until I saw this invasion that we just had a few years ago. That is the biggest problem that I have with illegal immigrants. And so unfortunately, all of these people that have cut the line have forced a lot of DACA document holders to lose their place and maybe even get deported. Because there's a lot of TPS people, right? Temporary asylum or whatever. Those people could have been helped a long time ago, but because we have a problem with illegal immigrants coming in here, those people never get the chance. I don't know what the hell the excuse is from the government, to be honest, but
It's hard because half the government is trying to do their job.
it's like you get this. I don't know where you went. You went really soft. It's like these judges, instead of doing the due process here and say, okay, this is what we need. Okay, we're good. All right, here you go. You're able to stay. No, they give him a date for like 5 years later. Like, why? You're putting them in danger because they can be deported at that time. It's like, go out there, just hopefully nobody takes you out. That's not what I want to see. I want to see the judges say, okay, hey, you can stay here. Here's a permit. Okay, no deportation status, nothing. Listen, no DUIs, no felonies. Behave, be a good, person. Stay out of trouble. And the moment they get in trouble, they get deported. I'll give you one example. If you have one more question, I'll let you have it. I'll give you one more example. One of my growing up brothers, his nephew got deported, right, to Honduras. And he says he hates Trump. And I was like, oh, hey, he called me, my brother calls me, FaceTime. And he's telling me about it. And then he said, hey, sobrino, he's a Trump supporter. And he says, hey, he hates Trump. You go ahead and ask him. And I said, hey, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo está, Catracho? I'm all saying hello and this and that, and everything is cool, right? And I said, so what's up? Why do you hate Trump? He says, well, I said, I hated Trump, but, I mean, let me be honest with you. He said, they would have never deported me if I was not drinking in my car. That's why they found out that he was illegal. But at the same time, he said, and at first I was hating Trump, but to be honest, coming back to Honduras, and this is not a lie, it's the truth. He says, to be honest, I came back. Being in the United States, it gave me something, he says. It gave me an open mind. It gave me, for some reason, it gave me this vision that I can make it. And so what I did is I went back to my house, to my home, and I just decided to put up business, and I'm very successful. I'm so happy right now. My wife is going to have a baby, anytime. It's still here in the States, by the way. But as soon as she has the baby, she's going to move to Honduras with him because they have a house. They work here and they made a house in Honduras. The plan was to go back, but not like that, obviously. So there is that story, and to say for him to go back to Honduras, right? That needs a lot of help. He was able to put his own business, which means he's making more money, which means he's actually paying taxes in Honduras, and he's able to bring, to renew the community with business, with money, shopping, etc., instead of depending on illegal immigrants to send remittances back to Honduras. It's like you can't just take advantage of one country, breaking the law, and then say, look what I built. Isn't that enough? No, it's not. It's not enough. If you're here illegally, you got to go. And of course, we always say we want the worst out first, but at the end of the day, everybody has to go. And the one thing that pisses me off is that there's so many people that should have already gotten their papers. You know what I mean? That's what pisses me off.
Have you heard about the Puritans?
The who?
Or the Pilgrims? They came to escape their country.
Yes.
To avoid persecution.
But you're talking, hundreds of years ago?
Asylum seekers.
Yeah.
And we do grant a lot of people asylum from different countries.
Yes, that is true. And refugee.
Trump has racially skewed the immigration process. He's openly said he's more accepting of countries depending on their race and the religion. It's it's not something Obama ever did. He never bragged about deporting people on Christmas Day, separating families.
I prove you wrong.
Obama never did anything like
Obama deported millions of Hispanics.
Yeah, but he never bragged on social media about separating.
He didn't brag about that because it was a little different in the time. But I would tell you this: he deported millions of Hispanics back to our countries. But he allowed hundreds of thousands of Muslims to come into this country and gave them status to be here. And that is the difference. When he promised us immigration reform, every Hispanic that had papers, citizenship to vote Every single one of them supported him. And I remember because everybody was pumped. I was a green card holder. I wasn't voting. But I was pumped because there's so many people in California. This is when I was in California. That we were just like psyched. We're like, finally, somebody freaking take a black man to be able to do something like this. And yeah, well, he didn't do that.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll
it's
say this: I
disappointing.
like Reagan, I like Bush, I like Clinton, I like Obama. But I think Trump, he's just not been good.
I support him
He's lied to
100%.
A lot of people. He's committed a lot of crimes, and
I don't see it.
I think
I
it's
might
all
be
gonna
blind.
come to light, I think everyone waking up. I think.
Hey, 2026, baby. Let's hope that Americans win. You with me?
Yeah, I understand you agree. You believe in what you believe.
Yeah.
But see, I believe in what I believe, and
All I know is that
wanna
we can have
time me
dinner,
out,
we
the
can have a
moderators,
beer,
it's fine.
and we can live together in this country. That's what really matters, right?
But you gotta also understand, like, you can't just say this race, that race. If you really look at statistics and you look at everything, you'll find it's not just one race doing one thing.
What do you have
go to
here?
the
Let me
trailer
see.
Parks, even in Kiwa or anywhere, you can see the same.
Well, every country, every culture, every ethnicity has the good and the bad, right? But I'm going to give you an
You
example.
live in Washington, you live in Seattle, so you see people in the tents. There's white people there too. You can't
Yeah, the
just
drug
say
addicts.
one race this or
Yeah,
one
the
race
drug
that.
addicts.
You gotta look and say,
Yeah, so
okay, you have people who are high quality and you have people who are low quality.
you know, most of these people have actually come here because it's a sanctuary city, because we're socialist, because we have free benefits.
Trump is a nationalist socialist.
So am
and he
I,
does a lot
but
of-
we
if you
have
look at what
common
Trump
sense.
does,
But we have common sense, and that we have to make money in order to continue to be socialist. We can't
he's
make money
spending
off the
our
poor
money.
people. Yeah, but he's also
Trump
making
spent
investments
more
to
money
come in
than
here.
Obama or anyone. Really,
Yes,
even more
I
than
agree.
Bush.
I agree. But what have the other guys done to bring money in? Nothing. They have been
Well, Reagan
benefiting.
did a lot.
No, they have.
Reagan quadrupled America's
Reagan.
GDP.
Reagan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did
Okay,
a lot.
Reagan
He
is
opened
it's an
trade.
example. But well, what I'm saying is, for the last since we started accumulating $27 trillion debt, they have done nothing because of all the greatness of good leaders from the past. This country has been the greatest nation, and I'm going to give you a very good example. Venezuela. We agree to disagree. Venezuela during the Chavez era. Okay. He was able, because the country was so rich, you know this, because of the petroleum, obviously, but you know this, the country was so rich, he told the people that he was going to bring down poverty, like he was going to annihilate, eradicate it. He brought it down to 3%. That's amazing, bro. 3%, okay? Because the wealth of Venezuela was so huge, okay? And then he starts wasting all this money, and he becomes a socialist communist. Right? So he continues on this, and what happens a decade later? Well, he got sick and he's dying, right? But then you have Nicolas Maduro comes in, and he's spending the same amount of money that Chavez did, except he's not bringing that money in, which is why he's selling those drugs, because he needs that extra money. The problem
You
is,
see, it's also
yeah, but the problem
if you're
is
the
that
enemy
now,
look at Cuba. If you're the enemy of the U.S., even if you're like a capitalist country or whatever, it doesn't matter. If you're enemy of the U.S., cuts you out of the global economy. You're gonna
yeah,
suffer
but I'm
no
talking about
matter
out of
what
the
government you
self-destruction
have.
is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about self-destruction.
Yemen was a democracy. There are a lot of democracies, capitalist democracies.
Hold on. I'm
against
almost
the US,
finished.
and they suffer greatly. So Venezuela went from a 3%, bringing down poverty down to 3%. He did a great job because the wealth of the country was so great that he was able to do that. But now having the same communist mentality, the same socialist communist mentality, where do you think the poverty rate is in Venezuela right now? Just a quick guess, if you can think of a guess. Remember, But that's
petroleum.
because the U.S.
No, not because of the U.S. This is self-inflicted. Why do
It's
what?
not self-inflicted.
It's self-inflicted.
The U.S. sanctioned them, and they won't let them
Okay,
sell their
no. Forget about that. I'm talking about way before the U.S. even put a sanction on Venezuela. Let me remind you, okay? He's an illegitimate president. Maria Machado is the legitimate president. 90% of the population of Venezuela voted for her. He is not supposed to be there. He killed some of his political opponents. He actually has in prison right now some of his political opponents. He doesn't kill them because he wants to hold them as hostages. Okay, I get that. Poverty level in Venezuela right now is over 75%, maybe 70. And I was thinking 75% poverty level. People cannot eat. They cannot afford to buy a gallon of milk. It is ridiculous. He has destroyed the economy. And because right now President Trump is trying to destroy him, of course he has even less money. But Venezuela on the other side, they're hoping that President Trump wins, and that's how it goes. So don't blame the USA because of what you see right now.
The International Monetary Fund, and you have like the World Bank, and if the U.S. blacklist you, it's like, let's say you have
they blacklist us all the time, bro. They're blacklisting us right now. You know who blacklists us right now? Africa. Like, we need something from Africa, please.
Do you see what happened to the Soviet Union? The U.S. caused the Soviet Union to go bankrupt.
That's right, and we won. Yeah, we got to take them out.
Like half of the world.
We got to take them out. China, we got to take them out. We just.
I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying, if the Soviet Union couldn't stand out, China, it only doesn't go bankrupt because of the U.S. The U.S. Give China money to
and they know
away
it
from Russia.
Yeah, they know
That's
it.
how they get the Soviet Union to collapse, because the Soviet Union thought that China would help them, but the U.S. make a deal with China so you don't help them. Yeah, that was under Reagan.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, I understand everything you say. I think you have absolutely valid points. I just have a lot more history that I compare to where what you're telling me, I just disagree with it. But you got valid points, my friend. Keep searching it.
Look, at one point I used to support this Trump guy, but he's did nothing but lie, divide people, and he's saying a lot of horrible things about people. And someone like that, frankly, should not be the president.
Well, if somebody calls me a Nazi, a racist, a bigot, they call me all these names, and I'm Hispanic, right? They call me all these names, a fascist, everything. I'm going to call you retard and fat and stupid and ignorant, and so what?
Even the moderators, man, are saying some racist things, saying Somalis are trash, saying this race.
Well, Somalis are garbage.
Religion of people.
Somalis are garbage. Their IQ average is 68 to 70%. Let me tell you why they're garbage. It's not because they're African. It's not because of that. It's because they are garbage. Let me tell you why they're garbage. They come into this country. They hate us. They have been supporting their Somalia country. The ungrateful bastards got a citizenship, got a green card, got SNAP benefits, got all of this free money from us, the American people.
Are the hardest working people I know.
Yeah, well, you can meet some of them. You can see some of them, but there are hundreds of thousands of them. Hundreds of thousands.
They're like so skinny they don't sleep, man. I look, I have a lot of Somali friends.
I understand that, but you know what? Every single one that I've seen so far has been violent, nasty, entitled, and they don't love the United States of America. You can think that
Wisconsin and Minnesota, their GDP has grown so much.
With fraud. With fraud. Yeah, it's with fraud, bro. Watch. You'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Before the Somalis came to Minnesota and Wisconsin,
Minnesota was good.
States that were like very rural. Now you go to Madison, Wisconsin, you go to Milwaukee, you go to
and it looks like trash.
Minneapolis.
And it looks like trash. What's the benefit of that?
America has the most beautiful.
Somali has built nothing in America.
Like Minneapolis, and put it any other country in the world.
Yeah.
That would be their capital.
Okay, this is my biggest example to you about Somalis. This is what migrants are like. They're like Somalis. Migrants don't build the country. They just come here, they work hard, that's great. But they don't build shit in this country.
Brother, look, I go to Illinois and Mexicans.
Oh, that's even worse.
The migrants, they work on the road. The road is finished within a week.
And how does that look? Does it look beautiful over there?
Indiana,
how's crime?
It take like 10 years for them to finish the road. It's just white people.
And how is crime? Well, that's slavery, bro. That's different. They're not just here for the labor. They're not building. They're getting paid for labor. And that's what we're against, because other people that will make more money to build those things could do it. But they still use migrants to pay them a cheap wage and to abuse them. They don't give them the rights that they deserve.
That's why we should make a pathway for citizenship easier for them.
For what? They're still going to pay them cheap labor.
No, they get paid more. They need a pathway.
They won't. The society cannot sustain it. There's way too many people.
People that are forced to be trafficked because they don't have, they try.
No, that's an excuse, man. Don't give them a victim mentality.
Them from their
they don't need to come over here for that. They can do that over there. You're gonna tell me that it's worth their death?
You know whose land? Whose land? You look at Colorado, California.
Yeah.
That land all belonged to Mexico. It was their land. They let.
And who did it belong
Americans come
before
and live in
Mexico?
Texas. The Mexicans, they didn't have a problem with the.
It didn't belong to
Americans
Mexico. The Spaniards were here. They're the ones that were conquering, not Mexicans, because Mexicans are Aztecs.
Yeah,
they're
they
Inca.
conquered
They're
them.
Indians. They're Palos Verdes. They're Mayans. They're not Spaniards. The Spaniards were the ones that conquered all of this over here, not Mexicans.
Yeah, but you
They
know how
called
rule
Mexico
just- yeah,
Mexico.
you know. Yeah, the
No, we
British
go
conqueror,
read
everyone, too.
Treaty of Hidalgo. Texans left Mexico. Texas was not stolen from Mexico. They left Mexico because of their corrupted government. California, Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, parts of Utah, all of these people were so in debt with the corruption of the Mexican government, they were going to lose their land anyway. And the United States told them, we will pay all that debt, we'll forgive all that debt, but this land belongs to the United States of America now. And all those Mexicans that decided to stay in the land, they became American citizens. Those who didn't agree with being American citizens, they got deported back to Mexico. Example, San Francisco. And I think there's a bad story about San Francisco and some lands being stolen. But the fact is that there was a treaty that the Mexican government signed giving the rights to the American people. If you own a house and you sign a deed and you give it to me, that's my house. I don't care how much. I don't care how your children come over. No. Yeah, but we won. But we won. That's the point. That there is an agreement. Whether I paid it with bullets or I gave you the money, I got an agreement that said that the deed is me, and your great-great-grandchildren can never come to your house and say, hey, that's my house because my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather had it. No, that's not how it works. We got a paper that legally binds it as our country. And that's the bottom line. So every Chicano that's born here is lying.
Let's talk about Israel because I
No, that's it. That's all the time you get, brother. That you don't get to make the show. I gave you way too much. I appreciate your points. You did awesome. Thanks for calling. Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year.
33 minutes, guys. 33 minutes I gave him. He does have a lot of good points. I can have this conversation with him every day, and we can disagree with probably most of everything. But he did a good job. Okay. Yeah, no. It's the fact is the fact, guys, and I can't tell you enough that Somalis are garbage because of that. You know, I believe that there's good people, and there's bad people on everything, but I really hate when people talk so much garbage about the American people and this country, and yet they get all the benefits that most Americans can't even get. You guys know I am 100% against illegal immigration. 100%. Thank you guys for that support. But I don't blame him. He makes good points. It makes sense. But it's a theory that he has. And I can make the same theory. Believe me, I have made that same argument that he made. I argue myself with it. And I convince me of what I believe today. Okay? So that's the difference, that I have already argued all those points with myself. Okay? But that was my last call for tonight. You guys are slave drivers, man. You know, all these people come in here and they don't appreciate that I'm doing this for a living. I do think for you guys who are members, who subscribe and, have put super chats on there, I don't think that a lot of people, they're probably just used to having free service. But I'm going to tell you, Cutting Edge has always been supportive. I always say this: if you have a certain budget that you're going to use for questions or whatever, pace yourself. I know Cutting Edge has given me big super chats, small super chats, but nonetheless, if he really wants me to read a comment, he's going to put it on a super chat. And I think a lot of people are like that. You guys that are mods, you're my members, just you being here with me, giving me your support, it's enough. But of course, monetary is always going to be accepted. Baba, big shout out to Baba. Baba has been sending me a lot of PayPal chats. He has bought me a lot of coffee on PayPal. So thank you, Baba. I think it was called Motorbike Sports. I think it was. I can't remember the name. Let me take a look real quick. I want to give them a big shout out. I appreciate it. And let's see. You send another one. Motorsports Plus. Big shout out to Baba from Motorsports Plus. Thank you so much for that. It's not a sponsor. I just want to give a shout out. Give you thanks for that support. Hey, to you guys that came in, that actually gave me a call. I do appreciate the respect. I would probably say that the best caller that I hear from was this last gentleman that I was talking to, because everything that he's saying does make sense, and you have to accept it. That is his opinion. That is his way of reasoning his thing. I believe he's wrong, but that's just my opinion. I completely respect everything he said. I think that it can be possible to go that way. I believe that Trump has said many things. I also believe that the Democrats have been, from 12 minutes into office, they have been going at him hardcore, bam, bam, bang, all over. And it is the same reason why I support Israel. Israel has been attacked so many times over and over and over. Oh my gosh, I'm surprised that Israel doesn't release those nuclear weapons. I'm telling you, people don't understand that Israel can just annihilate Gaza. They can destroy Hamas completely. They can destroy Iran. And this is probably why Iran wants to have their own nuclear weapons, so that they can talk shit to Israel and Qatar and the Middle East and the Emirates, and all this other stuff. Israel can throw a nuclear weapon to each one of them and annihilate them, destroy them. But you know what? There's no benefit on that. It's a much better benefit to live a happy life, to be prosperous, to be able to do business with your neighbors. But these people keep attacking Israel, so I have to defend Israel even more. I don't care about what they do, good or bad. The point is, I'm supporting Israel. It's as much as I support the United States of America. And I think I said that before. We have good people and bad people here. I think we can do without Democrats. Democrats think they can do without Republicans. It is what it is. All I can tell you is that if we continue to fight and we're not able to accept that the president that we have in office was elected with a democracy, and you have to accept it, whether you like him or not, whether you think he lies to you or not, is irrelevant. He got voted in. He gets 4-year term. Let him finish it. And when you guys take control back, then you guys do what you do. But what I can tell you is that Biden was destroying us. Biden didn't create millions of jobs. Those were the jobs that were taken away from the people from the beginning, right? And it's different when you take jobs away and then you say, I'm bringing them back. Oh, I just created 1,000 jobs. No, bitch, you stole 1,000 jobs. You just gave back those jobs again. The difference that I believe, and maybe I am stupid, maybe my math is horrible, but this 800, maybe 1,000% lowering the prices on drugs is exactly what I understand. Because when they tell me that they're paying $10 in this country and we're paying $130 for that $10 medicine, how much is that? $10 is 100%. Imagine 120. How many tens are in there? 12. That's 1,200% that we were paying over the actual price. So when we pay the actual price, we're paying 1,200% less. And people still think, oh my God, that's impossible. That'll be negative money. No, it's not. We're just back to what's fair. We're just back to the actual number where the price should have been set at. That's what people don't understand. Sometimes we're paying 100% more than what that medicine's worth. Sometimes 300, 500, 600. All we're doing is making it equal, making it fair. We're not making the third world countries pay more. We're going to pay the same as everybody else that is the developed country. Or maybe we'll pay a little bit more, but so will they. The price will go up evenly so that we can have the same answer. All right? Let's see. What? 213 says, that's going to be your answer when the creator is judging you? No. My answer is going to be, Father, I am a sinner. Thank you for your sacrifice, for your love and your grace and your grace and your mercy. Thank you for sending us your Son, Jesus Christ. Thank you for accepting me. Thank you for forgiving me of my sins. What are you going to tell your Creator when you go to heaven? Well, Jesus, I know that, you wanted me to be saved, but I had to help these people be criminals. I have to hide criminals and allow people to break the law. And I know Jesus said respect the law of the land, but God, I was being a good Samaritan. So I had to go against Christ's beliefs. I have to do what I had to do for my people because I can't be called a sellout. I can't be a coconut. I cannot be a traitor to my people. In the meantime, he's over there getting wasted with his friends, doing who knows what. I am over here. I'm a family man. I love my wife. I'm a faithful man. I'm doing what I can to make my money. My wife works. We put this money together. We have been raising our home together, our children together. I believe in God. Am I perfect? No, by no means. Am I sin-free? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I still have hope that everything that I try to do is in a righteous way, that is in a good way, and I'm always thinking that I want to please my father. You see, because my father was a hard worker. And what I want to do for my father is do what he taught me. And he taught me to respect the law of the land. And obviously, I'm giving an example because of Father, the Father God. My mother was the one that raised me. But I was taught to respect the law, to respect my elders, to respect those who are more prosperous than me, to respect those who have when I don't have. I was told to give them the space and respect, never beg. Always tighten your belt in your belly, so that I can go ahead and continue to be a good person. And you know what? Sometimes you have to suffer in order for you to learn to value and give thanks for every single day that God gives you. You think coming into this country is worth losing your family? You know how many families I have seen that come to this country illegally just so that they come into this country and lose their wives, their children. Their children don't respect them. They talk back to their parents. If they don't have a tablet, if they don't have an iPhone, you are a horrible parent. If you broke the law coming here illegally, you can't tell them shit, because when they become criminals, they're going to say, well, you did it. You broke the law. You can't tell me what to do. You are the best example that I have in my life. And whether you work hard or not, you did everything criminally so that you can provide for me. So what is the difference? What do I have to look for? If I feel that I'm losing something, that I'm failing in life, if I know that breaking the law, selling some marijuana, selling some cocaine is going to give me hundreds of thousands of dollars, if I'm going to do that and I'm going to give my son a PlayStation 5 and I'm going to be able to buy a house, it doesn't matter if I'm breaking the law of selling cocaine, it doesn't matter if I'm selling fentanyl, it doesn't matter if I'm killing people on the street. You see how the small sin becomes bigger. Every single small lie that you tell becomes a bigger lie. The moment that you sell your soul to the devil and you start breaking the law and you start making excuses, using the Bible to defend your sins and your criminality, you will never learn to be wise. You will always continue to believe that you on your own are being successful, that you on your own are only smart and wise, but you forget that the Jesus that I worship and serve says that in order for me to be in your life, you have to deny me so that I can be in you. You have to go die so that you can actually live. You have to put God first and give God all the glory and all the praise, and then I will be with you. You have to do all of these things. You want to quote the Bible on me when you say that I'm following the law. When you see that the law of the man, the law of the land that I'm following does not align with your wantings, you want to quote the Bible to try to make me feel guilty about being a responsible American citizen, being a responsible person that wants to be a good moral and example to the children. You are putting all these biblical scriptures to try to make me look bad, trying to point out the past of somebody. That I already told you guys that the one thing that we learn in the Bible is that the devil always brings your past to tear you down. David sinned. He actually is guilty of murder. One of his soldiers was killed so that he can go be with his wife. And you know what? God punished them and he suffered, and then God redeemed them. And guess what? Every single person in history has failed, has come down beneath Satan. And what has Jesus done? He died on the cross so that they can also be redeemable. Whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter. If you think they should be going to jail, let them go to jail. Let the judicial system, let the court system take care of that. But don't bring Jesus into this illegal immigrant crossing. Don't bring Jesus in here to tell us what to do with the law. The law of the land is for the people that live in the land, and for those who want to save their soul. That's what God is for. That's what Jesus is for. That's what religion, what faith is actually made for, so that you can make better decisions. How are you going to know which law is good and which law is bad? By having morals, godly morals, Christian morals, biblical morals, that will tell you that because you believe in God and God tells you to love your neighbor, you will love your neighbor. You will love the migrants, but you will love the migrants that come here legally, and you will support them. And those who come here illegally, if you love them, you will tell them, go back. And if you feel that you're so righteous and that you can do something for them, then help them. Give them money, give them clothing, give them food, send them on their way and tell them that you're going to look after them from here. But guess what? You're not going to do it, because that's not the way life works. Do you understand? Don't challenge me with biblical scriptures. Not because I know everything, but because you got to put things together. You got to listen to the law of the land, and you got to put your belief and faith and put it together and say, okay, God, what do you want me to do? If I say that I want to pray in the middle of the freeway, the law says that I'm going to get run over because it's illegal for me to block traffic. So guess what? God is going to make me go pray in my house, in my car while I'm parked, sometimes in a closet, to have more privacy away from family. God is good. God is great. But we are weak. We are nothing. He is the only thing that matters. And if you guys want to worship Muslims, a fake religion, hey, that's your doing. Guess what? All these illegal immigrants in here that don't like me, that are judging me, telling me that God's going to judge me in heaven, of course he's going to judge me. He's going to judge all of us. He's going to say, what did you do? I want to hear what Charlie Kirk heard. Thank you. Well done. Good and faithful. That's what I look forward to. I really pray that you guys change your mentality. I don't want to make you religious, but I hope that the Holy Spirit touches your heart. And this 2026, I hope that you get what your heart desires. And hopefully what your heart desires is the right thing to do. I don't like to get too religious and things. I can always talk about religion, but I don't want to get too over religious on my chats. All I can give you is something so that you can try to understand why I think the way I think. And when I have people that tell me that, you know, I have to be a certain way in order for them to actually listen to what I'm saying, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Guys, forgive me for my weakness. Forgive me for my mistakes and my errors. Maybe some of my anger, I feel is righteous anger. I feel it's just. But if I make you feel bad, I apologize. I have to be who I have to be. I hope you understand that. Today, this group that's watching me today, you guys get to hear that. I don't think I'm going to be able to say that again, but tonight I say it. Guys, I want to say thank you so much to all my members. Derek, I know you're not green. Margaret, God bless you. Baba, I know you're not green, but thank you for the chats. Thank you for the monetary support. You're amazing, brother. I appreciate you. God bless your business. God bless your family. May you get 100 times fold, my friend. Thank you, Trinity, for being the best sister. You are fantastic. You're phenomenal. I love you. I miss you every time on my chats. I know you cannot be with me every day, but I get Brian sometimes. Most of the times I get Robert. I get my man, Richard, my new subscriber, member. Love you all. Love you all very much. Omar, you're always in my heart. You know this. Thank you guys so much. God bless you. God bless your family. And God bless the USA. May you all have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow, God willing.